Let me see if this is fixing. All right, I think we're good. My bad. I have the new setup, guys. I have the new computer setup, so it should be pretty good here. I'm sorry about that. But what I wanted to say was, well, what I was saying in the beginning, and I'm sorry that people live are probably, or people who don't watch this live are going to be like, what the hell is happening? Um, is this sounding good? Make sure everything sounds good to me. I don't have to reboot. We're all good. We're all good. You guys should be able to hear me now. Is that good? Someone tell me they can hear me. All right, cool. I had to go into the settings. I did get the new computer set up. I just have a nicer version of the other laptop that I use, and I'm still working on getting a PC, but this one's like brand new. It's barely used, barely any stuff on it. So what I was overall saying was I think this is a good opportunity to ask questions. I got on early so we could just ask questions. If anyone has any questions about indicators, anything like that, any kind of divergence question, any questions that you may have, or if it's even related to AMC and GME, if you want to try to understand that a little bit better, you can ask questions about that as well. I thought that that would be a good opportunity for this morning. Okay, just a little bit early. We get data at, I believe, 9 a.m. We do get the ISM Services PMI. Now we're getting some data leak in here, 152K on the ADP employment change. How is that affecting the market? The main thing I wanted to point out, and if you're part of Patreon, you already saw this, look at the dollar going up. What's the stock market doing? It's going up at the same time, right? You look at futures, it's going up at the same time. So this is potentially, it could be insider selling. I don't want to say it is, right? I don't want to say like firm it is, but it could be. Now, 30-minute, you do have a slight double bottom divergence down here, so we really have to pay attention to the open. But if you guys have any questions out there, I thought this was a good opportunity as far as, because I know that some people are still confused with the AMC, GME, NVIDIA situation, so I just wanted to see if you guys have any questions. GME banks have to cover, yes, so they have to cover. Yeah, so banks are kind of on the hook for part of it as well. There's 63 banks that are distressed right now. I think someone added it up to they're about $517 billion in the red for that. So NVIDIA will dip after the split and then go to the moon. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it's possible if all the other AI companies go away, kind of like a dot-com bubble, but that kind of takes some years to play out. Gold, we can look at gold as well. NVIDIA, holy shit, it's going higher. Okay, so remember yesterday I was talking about NVIDIA and I was just saying, I think 1200 is where we're going to see NVIDIA hit. There's a big call wall at 1200, so I would expect selling once we hit 1200. We're still waiting for that signal to pop up. Look at this. It's going to make the signal. All we have to do is sit and wait. The most likely scenario was we were going to make this signal. Now we're starting to make that signal, so we got to pay attention. Do you think they can stop Keith Gill and GME from happening? They can't stop it from happening. They can't stop it from happening. And the reason that this is so smart for Keith Gill to actually post these trades, when you think about it for a second, is E-Trade is the one who sold they made the contracts, okay? So they are on the hook for this as well. And I think they realized that. And I think Keith Gill knew that. I think his lawyers knew that before he even posted his trades. And I actually think by him posting the trades, it kind of saves him a little bit because it saves them from just deleting his account. They have to now publicly delete his account. Imagine if he didn't post those trades and then that account was just deleted and all those contracts were wiped out. Like that would be not good. But the fact that he actually did post those, when you think about it, it actually, from a legal standpoint, now, if they close out that account, that goes to the whole public. And then it's kind of like everyone in the world should be worried about trading on E-Trade because they can just delete your account if they don't like the trade that you do, right? So the point is, they built the contracts that have naked shorts in them, so they are on the hook as well. And so not only are short sellers on the hook, but market makers are on the hook. These trading platforms are on the hook. We'll just make the stock drive further up because people are way too excited about the stock. That will be the number one thing driving the future constant growth. I think that what your sentiment is right now is perfect for some kind of crash in NVIDIA. This is exactly what we talked about. We talked about this back here on this gap up when everyone was frustrated and everyone was like, I was trying to short this. And I said, I would not short this. Your technical indicators told you not to do it, right? It said not to do it at the end of this day on the 30-minute. and then it goes up, and I go, they want every single person. So not saying anything bad about you, Robbie V, awesome name. Um, it's more just saying, like, this is the mentality they want you to feel. They want you to say, NVIDIA has no chance of going down. And right when it has no chance of going down, that means that puts will be really cheap and the market maker will rip this away. And what did we just say about the market makers? They are on the hook for this in some way. So they need to help out the short sellers. So the short sellers and the market makers are on the same team, most of them. Yeah, Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley. So just think of that for a second. You could have Morgan Stanley go through turmoil, right? Like we never even lost this trend, by the way, on Nvidia. So but that is the mentality they want you to have. We've been talking about this for a long time. Ever since we reached these highs, we're like, yeah, they want you to give up. And they want you to keep trying to short it, keep trying to short it, keep trying to short it. And right when you get that mentality of screw it, it's going to split, it's going to be worth $100, then it's going to go back to 1,000. So I'm not going to short it anymore. That's when it goes down. Market makers do not want you to make money. That is very true. That is very true. They do not. They want to make money off you, right? That's their whole goal. That's why they created the algorithm that can read when you are over leveraged in one direction. When you, as retail traders, the whole retail side is over leveraged in one direction, it rips it away. So that's what we're doing on this channel. We're figuring out when most of retail is over leveraged, or most retail and even institutions are over leveraged in one direction, and the market maker can make the most money. That's how we've done really well over the last couple weeks. Now, it's been still a hard market to trade. Don't get me wrong. The signals don't look like the best to make money, but if you're quick with it, you can make little 20 to even 70% gains. And people were doing that yesterday in the chat. I loved it. How's it going, Scott? Scott McKenzie's here. We got some buddies being made in the chat. So yeah, I think it was a good opportunity. Now AMD, this was the signal that I was talking about. The 2-hour could roll up and then we create some kind of multiple point divergence. If you watch last night's YouTube video, the 30-minute does have a good divergence here. I really wanted to post this, but as it's not by the weekly expected move, it's a little bit higher up than the weekly expected move. I like to give very, very probable trades on Patreon. So we see a crash signals play out. How do you find good entry for shorts? It seems every time I try to time it, my face gets ripped off. Okay, so a big hint of what normally happens at a top is you will see a 2-hour divergence, okay? So you'll see the daily, right? We'll see the daily divergence form, this little pop up here. If we get some positivity for a couple of the days here, and then next week that might be ripped away. We get GME earnings and all kinds of stuff like that. And maybe around that time, he executes the trade. Right now, the narrative on GME and AMC is what they're really banking on is he doesn't have enough money to execute the trade. And that's true. I mean, time, he has to pay for the amount of time that's in the option contract, right? So the fact that he took the 21st means the closer he gets to the 21st, actually the cheaper it gets. Okay, especially if the stock remains lower too. I think it's a little bit cheaper for him as well. So what we would say is, if this pops up like this and you create this signal, what you want to see is you want to see shorter time frame weakness in here, shorter time frame weakness in here. And this is where NVIDIA might help us out. We can look at a 2-hour here. What do we notice? Well, if this is just going to leak higher and higher and higher, it's going to create a point of divergence. If you wanted to, you could find a 4-hour. You could find the 4-hour divergence to get in a little bit earlier. See that crossover. Notice how close the 4-hour is to negative territory. If we complete this, it has to confirm, guys. It has to confirm. Right now, I believe XLU is actually trying to pull back just a tiny bit. So this hasn't confirmed upside on that 4-hour, but that's going to be another earlier signal. You always want to see the bigger signal. Be like, I'm paying attention to a daily divergence. Can I see weakness in the next push up that is going to confirm that divergence? So what would I say in here? Well, if I was paying attention to a 2 to roll negative in order for me to get that high probability move of the daily crossing back over and getting that crash signal. So now I know I need the 2-hour to roll over as well. So that would tell me, what if I can find some 30-minute divergence in this overall move? That would be very, very important. So if we're going to say, you know, see some kind of big run up today, tomorrow, whatever, if we're going to see some kind of big run up, look for that to pull back and then create some divergence here. And look at that, it matches up but this one would allow you to get in up here, and then you can manage the trade until the 2 hour crosses over. What we learn on in the course, which is down in the description, right? It's only $100 for the whole month of June. We're going to update that to the whole month of June, but the sooner you get it, the sooner you get to learn. But you'll see 30-minute. Okay, you manage that. Now the 2 hour crosses. Now you manage it like a 2 hour. Now the daily crosses. Okay, now you manage it like a daily. You kind of just keep moving it up. That way you're managing the whole time so you do not get screwed. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Oil stocks have really dropped off. US oil. The thing about these is on a 2 hour, you're going to see this is way down in negative territory. So I would not bank on this climbing all the way back up. It can. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do that. So I think we'll probably get to the center line and then curl back down, get to the center line, curl back down. But you would have to say the SPY kind of lagged behind oil. Now it's dropped off dramatically. That's a deflationary move if you would think about it that way, deflationary in oil. So that would mean to me, maybe the market's going to follow this. That's kind of how I would read into it. I hope that that was like helpful, Laws. I think that was the best way to state that is just teach you guys like, yeah, that's how you find the move. You go, if I want weakness in a daily, well, what rolls over a daily? A 2 hour. If I want weakness in a 2 hour, then what rolls over a 2 hour, a 30-minute? And then you can also see like, oh, if the 2 hours close to rolling over and I see 15-minute divergence, maybe I take that and I manage that trade, right? I'm always thinking, how could I get the best position possible? And then that's overall how it works. AD, I hope that was helpful. Oh, so AD, I was dealing with a lot yesterday. I didn't get to your email. My baby girl, well, there's a lot happening yesterday. Teachable's messing with me. They're not sending me any of my money anymore, which is very, very strange. Very, very strange. They just stopped sending me money. They will not talk to me at all. And it was ever since I made that call on Friday. So I don't know if that's like a conspiracy thing or if there's just some problem on their end, but they usually, if there's a problem on their end or my end, they tell me. They haven't told me anything. It's very sketchy. Um, but overall, this is very good for AD to hear, and this is what we would be talking about, AD, if I was emailing you back yesterday. My baby girl actually got her vaccines yesterday, and she got very sick all day, all night. She was sick, and so I was awake almost probably half the night. My wife she was awake pretty much the whole night. So I was awake half the night just in case we had to go to the hospital because she had 101 fever for like almost an hour and a half. And we were like, if that continues for another 30 minutes, we probably got to go to the hospital. It came down to 99, but it kind of remained around 99 to 100 almost the whole night. So we monitored her, and she was able to finally fall asleep. And I just went up there and brought baby mama coffee, and she was looking very tired. She looked a little tired, but we'll try to help her out today. That's why I'm hopping on early. I probably can only stream till about 10:30 today, just so everyone knows. I got to make sure my girls are taken care of. Yeah, vaccine day, never fun. She got really bad reaction to it. And she was, over the past few days, she's been very fun, talkative. She keeps talking all the time, which is fun. But then you see her just kind of suffering, and that's kind of sad. So something else you can do also if you're seeing this push up and you maybe want to spot that weakness is look for this. Look for signs like this, right? Look for the futures market to maybe tell you on a 2 hour, because the 2 hour is most similar to the 30-minute. We might put a futures slash how to trade, what time frames to trade Bitcoin on the course. Okay, we might add that to the course in the next month or so. So just pay attention to that. If you're interested in trading crypto, you can use it on pretty much anything, like Ethereum here if you wanted to. Yeah, okay, 4 hour, we can look for some kind of divergence down at these levels, breakthrough. We can talk about that going forward. But for now, Bitcoin, by the way, I still think this has a chance to keep surging higher because you're not really overbought here. You're finally crossing up. I think the market follows that. My target was overall around 74,000. I think we pop up like this and then we see some kind of divergence here. But if we don't make that divergence, maybe Bitcoin doesn't sell off. Maybe there's a rush to Bitcoin because of all the bank failures. Maybe people don't want the dollar anymore. It could happen. So we're just paying attention to everything. But most of the time, Bitcoin will make the downward move first. Vaccines after 2020? No, no, not those vaccines. We get the regular vaccines that actually make sense. We do not mess around. If you know anything about me, I do not like any kind of vaccines that I know nothing about, that I think are a waste of time, that are not proven. I did not get the vaccine. I have a shirt that says I got both my shots, and it's 2 shots of tequila. I wear it live sometimes. Can we please do TLT, and then we'll look at the oh yeah, let's look at gold first, just because someone was asking about it. Look at gold with that move. And we were talking about gold a little bit. We were like, look at the double bottom that's formed here. Now it didn't confirm. It's going to confirm this morning. Is it going to be the best entry? You got to see where it's at on that 30-minute chart. You get a 15-minute pullback. This is a good sign that the 2 hour is going to reject here. Good sign the 2 hour is going to reject here. And the cool part about gold is it could go make a triple divergence now. You see how we're still a little bit far away? We're closer, but we're still a little far away. So if we turn up, we actually could see a big move from gold. That, or maybe we get some kind of lower high. You just want to pay attention anytime this rolls back over, goes into negative territory. If that's given up today and goes negative, then you know you're most likely not going to go make that divergence or get that lower high just yet. What are you offering on your course, and how much is it? It's $100, and we offer pretty much all the things that I do to trade. I literally teach you all the things that I do to trade. I have, for myself, I've traded for a long time. This is the best I've ever done in the past few years. This is the best I've ever done, and it's the most simple I've ever looked at stocks, and I just make sure to pay attention and I manage my risk. So literally, you just need the understanding of the indicators, you need the time and the emotional capacity to react and be confident in your reactions and be confident in managing your risk. So we teach you about risk management, we teach you about the indicators, we teach you about pretty much everything, especially divergence and weekly ranges. We teach you every single thing that I talk about on YouTube. We go into in more depth. Now, some people have just watched YouTube, but they said it took them about 100 videos to like really get down what I'm saying on YouTube, because I just talk about it very quickly. In the course, it's literally like you can take it in a day or two and you just know all the information immediately. Where's the salesman special? 99.99? No. And I'm in marketing, and I know you can do that kind of shit, but I'm not doing that kind of shit. I don't care. I just say, hey, $100, then it's all yours. Even though they're literally, by the way, if anyone's bought a course, I have not received any money from them over the past week and a half, or pretty much a week, right? So since Friday, which usually I'm supposed to receive money from them, but they're just not paying me. Very, very strange that ever since that crazy call on Friday with that rigged move, and we called it out, now they're kind of like asking me for all my social media. I know they did that, but they didn't tell me my account would be frozen or anything like that. So, but I still want you guys to be able to learn. I'm not saying like don't go get the course. I think you guys need to learn these type of things. It will help you out a lot as a trader. It'll make trading a lot simpler for you. Trading is still hard, but if you can make it as simple as possible, then you can, focus on the hard things. So TLT here with the breakout, big move, great move, broke out. Now, what I'm worried about today is some kind of retest. I think some kind of retest will be possible here. Some kind of retest because of this data coming out this morning. We'll pay attention if PMI ticks up or something like that, because we could see the yields react a little differently here. The yields, the 10-year up here, which I cleaned up my stuff over here, so I have to type in any stock. So send the ticker if you actually want it. We're seeing that break through that trend as well. So some very big thing. I think, well, I started selling the course in 2023, and I think maybe I want to say over 100 people, maybe like 100 people. Does the course cover swing trades monthly? I don't have time and mental capacity to do. So the things you will learn in the course about MACD behavior and divergences are better than swing trading. They are better than swing trading. You will get in earlier than swing trading. Now, if you're able to understand the course, you will be able to quickly understand swing trading. So swing trading isn't specifically talked about in the course, but I talk a lot about stuff live that is swing trading. I just don't mention like, hey, this is a swing trade right here, a boom. But sometimes I do say like, oh, right here, this is what a swing trader would really like. I used to be a swing trader. I made good money with it. I really like it. I still do swing trade. But if you're looking for, I'll tell you right now, I mean, I'm going to add an investment video as well, because I know people can't pay attention to charts, and not everyone can be good at trading 30-minute charts. Okay. Not everyone can be good at trading 30-minute charts, 2-hour charts. Some people need to work their job, and that's perfectly fine. They don't want to sit in front of a computer. They can't handle the emotion. So we actually talked about yesterday pretty much how you treat it as an investor and a swing trader. I'll literally just be like, okay, cool. We curled up on the MACD in positive territory, way over here, and then you knew we were going to make an upward move. That's all you need to know. That's literally swing trading in a nutshell. Now there's more to it, and there's a way to get in earlier. But if you're able to take the course and understand that, swing trading, any kind of MACD behavior stuff on big time frames like the monthly will be very easy. So technically, your MACD told you to get in here. And if you're trading on the monthly, then you don't really care. As long as this isn't rolling over, then you're not going to lose. So it didn't roll over, boom, big upward move. And technically, this is where you'd be in that. This is where you would say, okay, that's pretty overbought, right? So that's where you would start to think of taking profit. It's pretty simple. We can look at SMCI real quickly. See, this doesn't look good. Like, right? Is this an investment on the monthly scale? SMCI? Probably not. Probably not. It really probably isn't. Okay, now going into the shorter time frames for SMCI, remember I was telling you this 2-hour looks like it could roll up, right? We said that all day yesterday. We were saying there's 30-minute divergence here that can roll up the 2-hour. What's happening as of now? The 2-hour is rolling up. There you go. That's how these. So the course will teach you how to find these moves earlier. You're in here, you risk manage through here. Maybe you have to get out and get back in just to make sure you're risk managed, and then you're back in. Boom, this thing, you noticed it crossed up. Okay, awesome. Now we can go up into a sell zone. Now I know about, we teach you about these zones as well, how to find support, how to find resistance, that kind of thing too. So you learn a lot in the course for $100. I like to say this because it's $100 and people are like, oh, well, the money value, you want a higher value of money for a course. I got a guy that I know who's a big investor in NVDA. He told me that my course is probably worth somewhere around $1,400 to $2,000. But that just tells you guys, like, I told you from the start, I'm trying to help retail learn. I am a good trader. I don't need to make $1 million off of you guys. I'd rather make $1 million in the market, and I will sell the course for $100 because I think that it is helpful for you. And you can see some kind of run like this, and we could pop up to this area, and now we teach you about taking profit and why I take profit early in these markets. It's because I know it's rigged. So you can learn all of these things in the course. SMCI looks like some kind of move like this is happening. I would pay attention even if that goes positive, pay attention anytime that rolls over. That's going to be a big moment. So if you're taking anything like this, well, if you took the course, you know exactly how to manage that risk, and you know exactly when you could get screwed. Well, AMC and GME, when you're covering it today, covering it day to day, do you look up how much shares the short sellers have and how much the or sellers have to short those stocks for the day? Someone did say that you can look at this, and I did look at it because I saw it in the chat yesterday. I think it was Adam put this out there, and this is what I was paying attention to for GME. So this tells you right here that the problem is real. This is all you have to look at to know the problem is real, because why would they short sell so much? And they're selling 120 million sale volume there. So now you're seeing it tick up again. So once we see another big push, you will see this bar come up again. So if you just scroll out, you'll see the last time these moves happened, we're back when when AMC was really popping. You can look at it for GME as well, right? GME, how high up is this? Uh-oh, it's very freaking high. Okay, the last time that happened was when they were trying to suppress the stock. This is all you need to look at to know that this problem is real. Let's go look at AMC and GME real quick, and also I reorganized. So first of all, daily scale is still positive. The main thing here is these 30-minute charts need to roll up. Now, this is going to be during market hours, so most likely I would say most likely during market hours, these do not roll up. These do not roll up. But I want you to understand that the level of $5 is probably the most important for AMC. The level of $5 is the most important, I think, for AMC right now. I'd say 518 is most likely the most important. If you can hold above that, that's where short sellers start to get in trouble, and you could see them buy back in. Your course is really good, and I learned a lot. Thank you, and the price is great. Thank you, Carlos. And some people will be like, "Wow, this is really simple." And yes, the whole thing with the media and things like that, they try to overcomplicate stocks. If you look at it from a technical standpoint and you're paying attention to momentum and you trust your indicators, they will tell you exactly when to get in and exactly when to get out, as long as you're managing risk. I always say this: if you just learn basic strategy with the MACD and the RSI, basic strategy, not even divergences probably. If you learn that, and then you just see when that curls up, and then you manage the risk. If you learn risk management and basic understanding of the indicators, you will probably be better than 75% of retail traders. How many cuts were due this year? Well, remember, we started the year with like 5, then we went down to 3, then people started to say 5 again, then we went back down to 3, then we went to 1, then we went to 3, now we're at 1. Actually, I think we went to 2 for a second in there. Now we're at 1. And then they mentioned, oh, now we can cut in September. The market rallied. And then literally a week later, he was like, oh, yeah, we can't cut in September. And he didn't even get data. He said, oh, yeah, we can cut in September maybe. And then the next week we didn't even get data. And he was like, oh, yeah, we're not cutting in September. So they're just fucking with you. They're just messing with you. But the most important thing for GME and AMC, let's pay attention. This is momentum indicator. All I have to know is if this goes green, there is potential for positivity because it is up here in this area. This is the type of stuff you will learn in depth in the course. You think we're at 2 after PMI yesterday? We'll see what the services PMI does today. Kind of crazy. But the thing is, guys, and you'll realize this about me, I used to be someone who paid attention to so much info. Well, so pretty much we show you how to kind of price into your options when you do take plays like this. Because a lot of the time I tell people out of the money is perfectly fine as long as you're managing risk. And usually you'll see the money value go up quicker and you just want to be the person that takes profit. You don't necessarily want to go to target all the time. We talk about, not early in the course, but we don't really talk about leaving runners because I really want people to get in the habit of taking profit. This market is proven to be rigged. We've proved it over the last week on this channel. We proved it again and again and again. And especially last Friday, we proved it. If you need to see it, go back and look at last Saturday's video. It's the video that says the only YouTube channel that called the bear trap. This is the things we were talking about last week, and everyone was calling me crazy. I got hate mail. And then guess what? It was rigged. So, no, one time, Chuck. One-time payment of $100, and you get it forever. And anything added to that course, you'll just get for free. We added to the course 2 weeks ago. I added to the course 2 weeks ago. It was a section called How to Not Get Screwed, How to Be Risk Managed. A lot of people need to know, like, when the move's not really happening, okay? So, like, if this is curling up and curling back down, that's where risk management comes in. A good example was Amazon. This was a great trade setup, a good run. Okay, boom. But this bar right here told you, hey, there's no reason for upside. Your risk management would save you from being a part of this. And we do it differently than I'm saying right now in the course, a little bit different in the course. We do it a little bit quicker. So in the course, you'll get even better. And you might have been out of that move up by 182.86. And look at that. You're out of that move. Risk is good to the downside. So you're out of that move to the upside with these divergences. And then boom, we go from what? If you got out at 182, 183, we went all the way down to 174. One dime, then additional $3.99 per month for Starbucks. No, it's $100. You get everything. If I add to it, I'll let you know live if something's being added to it. That way, people who've already taken it, I tell you over and over again, hey, go look for positivity in the stock, or does that mean downside potential? It means downside potential. Okay, so that alone, you should be like, you don't really have to even, like, you can literally just like pay attention to the signals on any stock. Meta right now, you're like, oh, it's rolling. Well, that 2-hour crossed up and it's in positive territory. We talked about some kind of fade here. We can pull up weekly ranges and things like that. I need to pull those up on my other screen, by the way. Let me pull that up on my other screen real quick. I'm getting used to my new setup. It's all new stuff. Literally, it's like all new stuff except for one monitor and my camera. Yeah, you're right. You're right. This is the weekly expected move. We talk about weekly expected moves in the course. We explain them in depth and we teach you how to trade around them. That's the important part. I'm not just going to tell you, oh, the MACD is moving average convergence divergence or whatever. I'm not. That's not. What does that do to help you? It doesn't help you at all. How you can use it to trade, how you can understand the inner workings of it, right? How you can understand where it is important to pay attention, and then how to use it is much better. That's what we teach you on the course. But as of right now, good point on Meta. It is heading up. Where is it going? Oh, it's hitting a weekly expected move. So anyone that's part of Patreon or taking the course, if you're part of Patreon, you probably know enough about the weekly ranges now to know that that's where weakness comes in. And you're almost there. You got a little bit more upside there, but you might have hit it in the pre-market. Yeah, you got a little bit more upside there. So thank you guys for joining. Please leave a like on the channel. Really would appreciate it. Andrew left is with, oh God, he's with, is it Citron or Citron? Citron. I think it's Citron. So Andrew left. All you need to know was he was like, okay, so you know the I'm pretty sure, did you watch Dumb Money? If you watch Dumb Money, I'm pretty sure Andrew left was the guy who I think he was in the movie, and I'm pretty sure he was the guy from Pineapple Express. Oh God, I can't think of his name. He was the guy who was scrambling the whole time, I'm pretty sure. Okay. So now they're trying to say, like, oh, it's different this time. If you go look at their Twitter, like him tweeting pretty much on their company stuff, he's like, oh, yeah, back then he was this, but now it's different. No, he probably did the problem even worse now to get back at, right? He tried to get revenge probably on AMC or GME. He probably tried to get revenge on GME, and now I think the problem's even worse now. Thoughts on the SPY? I think we go up and we create a daily divergence. Now this 2 hour, all this has to do is roll up, roll back down, right? It's still by the center line. So this is your like indicator of earlier time frame, 2 hour rolling over, right? But the main signal to pay attention to is a daily divergence. I think we're going to create one. I think we could see a couple days of positivity and then start to see like a wick on Friday, or we just see a sell-off come next week. Citron Research, who used to be Stock Lemon or Lemon Stock or something. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he was the guy from Pineapple Express in the movie Dumb Money who was just scrambling the whole time. Thank you guys for being here. Really do appreciate it. I don't know if Teachable will ever pay me my money, but please go take the course because like I want you guys to at least learn, even if they don't pay me. I still want you guys to learn, and I'll still be here on YouTube, and we'll figure it out. If they're not going to pay me, I'll figure it out. I've already contacted, well, I already have a lawyer lined up in case something crazy happens. I have my screenshots of everything. So nothing really big going on there, I think. I think it's just a miscommunication, maybe. But just in case something is, I have steps in place already in case I need to take legal action against them. And then we'll just use a different platform in the future. And I'll make sure if you did buy those courses, that I will make sure to collect all the emails from that and send you it in like a zip file. But right now, I wouldn't be worried about it. I really wouldn't be worried about it. I think it's just a miscommunication. Well, that's the thing. Like, Teachable is one of the most trusted ones. Teachable is one of the most trusted online course websites. That's why I used it. So I'd be very surprised if something fishy was happening. Now looking at GME, this thing is negative to start the morning. This is what I'm saying. Most of the time, what you're going to see is the big pump will happen in the post-market, pre-market. It'll happen after hours or overnight market. So GME, what do we need to pay attention to? It's still by the center line. So if it does curl up, positivity can be there, but it's during market hours. So this is when you're going to see halts and all those kinds of things. NVIDIA looks pretty good on the 2 hour. It does. A swing trader would say that, but a swing trader would also say, ooh, there's not a lot of room for upside until I am overbought. I'm already overbought. I could make and this is where the course helps. Swing traders don't usually pay attention to divergence. They don't. They see a bar that goes up above all their moving averages. They see the MACD curl up and they go, sweet. So what I think is going to happen is I think this will hit 1200 or maybe a little bit above 1200. I said 1,180, I think was what I said. But I think we go up and we maybe tag 1,200. I can pull up I can pull this up real quick. I can show you guys. This is Max Payne. Let me not blind you. NVIDIA for this week. Look at the 1200 strike price. So I can bet money that 1200 strike price might have some resistance there, right? That would be the resistance level. Look how much higher it is than everything else. That is the resistance level right now. That's all you need to know about NVIDIA. Big call ratio there. They want more and more calls to leak in as they hit 1200 and then boom, rug pull. That's what I think is going to happen. Now that could play out for a while. We don't have a clear 30-minute divergence. A lot of the time we'll have a clear 30-minute divergence, but you do have an extended one across the way here. So if this just fades today, that could be it. But I think it'll be more complicated. I think it'll be like some kind of thing like this, and then we'll see weakness, and then that 2-hour will finally cross over. That's what I think is going to play out. But doesn't matter what I think. I just pay attention to the signals. Could this be the last push before a bigger sell? Yes, but know that this thing can still be manipulated. They will manipulate this as much as possible as long as people keep shorting it. That's why I'm kind of encouraging not to do something like this. They are using NVIDIA. E-Trade, short sellers, hedge funds, whatever you want to call it, all of them. They are all using NVIDIA to short squeeze it to then make money off of you guys trying to short it and then put that money into suppressing the stock. So when this rug pulls, that is when you most likely do know that they can't take care of the problem and they have to actually pay for it. And the rug pull might happen. Like the funny thing is about technical analysis is things make so much sense. So what if this confirms? Right when that confirms, he executes the contract. If he executes the contract at any time, they are boned. They are absolutely boned, and not in a good way. Do you have to have a desktop? No, I think you can take it on a phone. I don't think they have a I don't think they have a like a mobile app or anything, but I've logged into it. It's been fine. But you can take it on a phone or an iPad or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's fine. Tom, yeah, I'm glad you agree. Yeah, see, that's a very simple thing that you can learn is Max Payne, but Max Payne, do you need to pay attention to it? Like, really, do you need to pay attention to that all the time? You could trick yourself. When you get too much info, you could trick yourself. That's why in the course we teach you it very simply, because if you follow that, you should be successful. It is still up to you, right? You have to do it and you have to be honest with yourself. If you see yourself not able to handle 30-minute divergence plays, then you might want to start to play daily ones. You might want to invest using the info. I love the people that are coming in asking about investing. Obviously, if people have, jobs or anything like that, I have a buddy who owns an electrician company. He asked me how to invest. I say, hey, I'm going to teach you one thing about the MACD. Okay, when this thing curls up and goes green, go for it. When this thing goes across the center line, keep it. When it curls back down, sell it. And he's like, cool. And he's been doing that, and he's made so much money over the last 5 years. He's literally like, now, has he made hundreds and hundreds of percent? No, he makes like, 25, 30% a year, but that adds up. It exponentially grows if you do it right. Thoughts on Hollow? Hey, Marina. SMCI. SMCI 30-minute divergence was there. The 2-hour curls up. Positive territory goes into a sell zone. That's overall SMCI. We already did that, but 2-hour curled up. We told you about the divergence down here that looked pretty good. Now we can bounce up, hit a sell zone. I would say probably you run into resistance somewhere around 840. But it doesn't matter what I think. What you should do is in the course, we tell you take profit. Right when you like the amount of money, take profit. There's no problem. You can leave runners or something like that, but taking profit is the only way to make money in the stock market. You have to take profit if you're going to be a trader. We can look at Hollow real quick. They could suck a bit more cash in before killing. They could send it down, send it right back up. They could crash it down by another 5% and then put it right back up. That's why you have to pay attention to how you get screwed. Micro cloud here, 2-hour divergence was across the way here. It probably looks cleaner on a 4-hour. Yeah, it looks pretty clean on a 4-hour. You need that to go positive. Does it show up on a daily? It's kind of wonky on a daily, but you're getting rejection. So your 4-hour crossing was your signal of, hey, we can go positive. We talk about this a lot. This is a contrarian bull signal here because you are bearish. It is in negative territory, but you notice we're getting a pullback. So this is why it's important to manage risk. How would I manage risk on a 4-hour? Most likely on a 1-hour chart. If this would roll over, okay, then that would be bad because look how close you are to negative territory. So your risk management will help you out with hollow. That's all the stuff that's in the course, and it's very, very quick. But I talk about the best time frames. I think the best time frames are the 30-minute, the 2-hour, and the daily chart. Luke, 15 minutes after the market open, we have Canada's rate decision. Ooh, tomorrow European will announce rate decision. I know you follow TA mainly, but do you think maybe TLT will get a bump up? It just depends. It just depends on what is really going on as of right now. The 10-year yield has been dropping off dramatically. I don't want to read into it on the shorter time frames, maybe a 4-hour. So I would expect some kind of bounce here, but don't think the market has to react to that data. Look at the yield. It's been coming down and down and down. If anything, that should be good news for the market. But the market kind of had some wonky behavior, right? Because that's a rigged move. It's had some wonky behavior during that. If you said anything, this should be going up and up and up, just like TLT. It should be following TLT. So this could catch up while TLT gets that pullback today. Because even high yield growth was seeing a bounce. XLU still holding up at higher levels, doing good. Not able to cross up on the 4-hour, but 2-hour still crossed up, didn't curl over. Rejection is what we were talking about yesterday morning. Rejection down here is important. I love the fact that you guys are pointing out, like, should we be open to a divergence down here? And I'm like, yes, that's exactly. I know you took the course because that's what we talk about. It's awesome. If you take probably your long 5+. Long, Rob, long 5+. Try to explain what you mean a little bit better. Maybe I'm just being dumb, but I'll tell everyone my total at the end of the week. Okay, Scott. Good morning, Bernie. Slot Machine. Short Movies is here. Shane, thank you for asking about SMCI. Orchid Tran, thank you so much. Do you have a desktop? Yeah, so you don't need a desktop to take it. Tom, thank you for showing up. Really appreciate it. US Mobile, what's up? Correction, MLGO. We did bring this up yesterday. I wonder what happened. Yeah, so this is one that we are just like, yeah, this is a pump, right? It's a pump. There's no technical analysis behind this. If you want technical analysis behind this, it's the same as AMC and GME, what we said when it got its big pump. See if a 30-minute can get down by the center line and then curl back up. That is momentum telling you upside. Right now, it's not crossed over in the morning. This most likely crosses over. If there is another move left, your indicator will tell you. And whoever asked about swing trading, that's pretty much swing trading in like the most simple nutshell. There's a little more to it. Yeah, we can draw a trend line real quick. So overall, trend lines are not a guaranteed thing. So we talk about trend lines in the course. So we gotta, leave a little bit of info out for that. But overall, you just want to make sure it makes sense to you. That's the big thing. So what would you say here? Well, if we were going to run into resistance here, you could do something like this. Why does that resistance make sense? There's liquidity here, so resistance can come. We burst it above it, so now we can use it as support. That's kind of support and resistance. So as far as the big thing with creating trend lines, we can maybe go on a daily scale, is a lot of the time you want to create ones that at least have 3 touch points. I think that's a very good tip. Do you see how this is very obvious? And so after this point, I can line these up, and if it touches again, then I know, okay, whenever I hit that line, maybe I should take profit. Hit that line, take profit. That upside ones are pretty good. Downside ones can get violated all the damn time. All the damn time. Okay? So, and then another good one is like when you see divergences, see if you're getting tapering. That's a good way. But look, 1, 2, 3. We didn't close below. We were talking about how you don't close below it. That's important as well. Sometimes you want to cut out that wick just to see if you're closing below it. You're not closing below it there. So 1, 2, 3. If you pull it back, maybe it doesn't make as much sense, but look, you almost touch it right there. But you would say 3 points, that's a good trend line. If we break that, that's not good. But then we see all the divergence down here. So this is when we call it the bottom. This is when we called the bottom in October. We called it pretty much, actually, we called it over here. We were saying it right here. We most likely roll over and create that divergence. We created it, so we told you about it in advance. Very, very good move there. But that was all the way back in October. I only had this channel for like 2 months back then. These guys aren't without experience. there's the sentiment, guys. Just pay attention to people that come in and say NVIDIA is going to go to 1500, NVIDIA is going to go to 2000, NVIDIA is going to go to this. I think they're baiting you in right now. I think very, very tough. Thoughts on Shop? Yeah, we can look at Shop. Tony loves some Shopify. I tell you what, that guy loves him some Shopify. We got 7 minutes till the open. Shopify on the daily, you're able to roll up, good sign, but the 2 hour, this is still wonky, but you're able to go positive. So a very good thing here would be a cup and handle. If you could see some more positivity, you most likely do make a handle with this gap resistance. We talk a little bit about gaps in the course as well. And then you're going to see a pullback. People are going to think, oh, this is over. You know, if this doesn't go negative here, then it's most likely not going to do what? It's not going to make a new test the low or go make a new one. So if this is able to roll back up on, say, a 30-minute, right in this area, look how high up this 30 minutes getting into positive territory. It's getting up there. It's getting up there. This is what swing traders like to see. Now, swing traders are patient. They wait for pullbacks. So the 30-minute, if you reach all the way up here, you're going to get more extended, and then you're going to curl down. And maybe if you get that handle to form, boom, there's your big move. But I'd be careful in this environment. That is a downward move. Pay attention to the 2 hour rolling over into negative territory. That won't be a good sign. XLU popping right now. So the move higher for the SPY, it's still catching up to XLU, by the way. So big pop higher. One I want to pay attention to, AMD. This one looked like a decent setup. We'll see what happens with it throughout today. Either one, Tom. Either one. I noticed that I love psychology. I love psychology. I love psychology, and a lot of my teachers wanted me to be a psychologist. That's actually why I think I like stocks so much, is because there's a lot of psychological things that go through trading, and I get to see people come in and say, you know, NVIDIA's going to 2000 or 1500, and I just go, there's a big call wall at 1200, and I love to see it go past 1200, and then they come in and say, you're wrong, and then it gets rug pulled, and I'm like, sick. It's kind of like the evil side of me a little bit. I don't wish you to lose. That's why I'm telling you guys these things, right? I want everyone here to be successful. Even if you think NVIDIA is going to 1500, I want you to be successful. I really do. But psychologically, men call me Luke, women call me Lucas. I've found that out. So I knew I loved psychology from the point when I was very quiet. I was very bullied as a kid. I had to switch schools. Now I'm pretty cool, but I got bullied as a kid, and so I had to switch schools. So when I switched schools, everyone at my old school called me Luke. So I started writing Lucas, or I still wrote Luke on all my papers for the first like few months. And then I started to change everything to Lucas to see if my teachers would start to call me Lucas instead of Luke, and it worked. Kind of cool. All right, Scott, PLTR, is it going to crash? Let's look at Palantir real quick. We'll get through some more. Have any opinions on SoFi? We can look at SoFi in a second as well. Oh, big upward move. Look at that. See, divergence didn't complete. Divergence didn't complete. We were talking about this yesterday, but we always say this, guys. We always say this. You have to wait for that to confirm on your indicator. Okay, you have to see if that confirms. We did not have a weakness signal here. 15-minute divergence. This is why I do not trust a 15-minute chart. Everyone looks at 15-minute. Everyone looks at hourly. I think they are missing out. 5-minute was rolling up into positive territory. The shorter time frames were not saying this is going to cross over, and so I wouldn't even front run that. 30-minute did not cross over. So this is your risk management saying, oh, watch out. Now this could fade early on. You can watch it, and then maybe that crosses over. We'll see. So good move from Palantir though. But 30-minute did not tell you to take a trade. It's important to let your indicators tell you to take the trade. 2 hour, you're setting up a 2 hour divergence here for SoFi. If that confirms, you could see a big move. Okay, you could see a decent sized move. I think yesterday we were stating how SoFi, I really like the test of the 50, but with divergence, do you have divergence on the MACD on the daily? You have it on the MACD on the daily. I think you could see a full reaction and maybe go test the 200 here. See one of these big moves like this. Just a rapid move in a few days. I think you could. Doesn't mean put everything in there because you could. No, you want to make sure that this 2 hour is rolling up. And then if you take that, you're a contrarian bull, and then you want to see if that goes positive. Go on VIX. So volatility, we need to probably look at that too. We're almost getting down towards that 1212. We talked about the 2 hour rolling up. The key thing from the past couple of days here, look at this. It tried to roll up. rejected. This is why you have to wait for things to actually confirm. Your MACD will be the last confirmation, yes, but it will be the simplest. Like if you front run the MACD, yeah, you can make more money, but if you're wrong, then you could technically lose more money because you didn't even get like in profit. So right here, you see rejection, very, very big deal there. Now we start to head lower. This is where the daily, right, rejected off the 200. That's where I said, hey, we're most likely going to see another little squeeze happen. And we get that squeeze. I think that the VIX is going to make some kind of divergence down here. But if it doesn't make that divergence, it's going to tell me the 2 hour is going to go positive. You need these things to be in positive territory to see volatility go positive. And just know volatility can go positive and go up before the market sells off. Okay? The SPY does not have to sell off because volatility goes up. All right, you can see upward moves and still have volatility go up. Yeah, we can check gold again. Gold real quick. Oh, I already checked SoFi, didn't I? Yeah, I already checked gold. Yeah, but PLTR, I'll look at that again because we didn't do it on another time frame. So you're going to get rejection of the 2 hour. Remember, yesterday we were stating this looks like 30-minute. 30-minute divergence is there. If it curled up, it didn't give you that hint. It didn't give you that hint, right? So now you would say the 30-minute is curling up and you want to pay attention to this RSI. If it's way overbought, well, then you might want to wait. It's going to hit this point. Maybe it flags out for a moment and then you see that curl back up on a 15, right? The 15-minute can be overbought now. And then you can see this go like this and then curl down. And then that would be a better entry point, in my opinion. Being patient is a great thing. Don't just think you have to react in real time. If you want to, it's like, okay, treat it like a scale in. Treat it like a scale in case something big happens. And then see that curl down, second position if that 15-minute rolls back up. But your risk management on the 15-minute would tell you like, hey, just sell. Like it would tell you, hey, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't do that. And maybe don't do that. Okay, it confirmed another upward move. That's what I'd say about gold. But you can curl up the daily here. You can curl up the daily here. You're not negative. Gold is not dead. Just like GME and AMC, gold is not dead. Let me go look at Palantir again on bigger time frames just to make sure. You have daily divergence behind this as well. So the likelihood for a big move is there, and you're starting to take back the 50. So you do have the potential for a little squeeze. Now you have to pay attention to the environment that we're going through with the SPY, the Qs, and XLU, and NVDA. And therefore, you would say any kind of money I make in this, I might want to be quick with it. That's why we say take profit quickly in the course. Yeah, I use regular trading hours all the time. Now, I will look at futures market for some data. I'll look at US oil and things like that. Let's look at NVIDIA this morning as it is up towards 1200. I'm expecting resistance to come in at 1200. And then I want to also pay attention to AMD, seeing if this can cross up on the 2 hour. Now we're starting to load stuff. There you go, 2 hour. If that crosses up, that could see a big move. And NVIDIA could rip, right? It's still rigged. So if this crash signal does not complete, then I know, hey, don't take the move, right? This still could go higher. It could just leak higher like this because that doesn't cause the RSI to go nuts. It could just leak higher, leak higher, leak higher, leak higher. And then on Friday, what if at the end of Friday, boom, we see some kind of drop that gets you back into that weekly expected move. Right now, you're out of the weekly expected move. Let me go double check. Oh, I got to pull up my other charts. Let me pull up my other charts real quick. Those help me out. Because then I don't have to like look through the spreadsheet. Let's just do this on our watch list that I show you guys. NVIDIA. Yeah, you're outside of the move now. But crazy stuff happens outside of the move. Now we do get data in about 30 minutes. So I'm paying attention here. I'll take a play on it. I will. I just got to make sure. I just got to make sure. 16. Yeah, okay. I'm selling this. Let's wait. Let's wait till the data comes out. So I do have my other computer set up. It's going to make this computer run better. I have my trading platforms are now on my other computer so that it doesn't run all that data all the time on my PC. But AMD, this one here is what I'm thinking about. I'm seeing if this will complete and I'm seeing what the data is next. So you notice this already completing. If that completes and confirms on AMD, I still know there's data right after that, so I want to see the reaction to data. If that ends up being a good number, like if PMI comes in lower than 50.8, than 51, okay, then I can know, okay, maybe I take a chance with this, watch it for 2 hours, able to curl up and take a move here, and then pay attention because I could just use all that money and then try to do something with NVIDIA for you guys to see. Cool, cool. NVIDIA outside that weekly expected move. So, uh-oh, SPY, where's it going? It's probably going to gravitate towards the daily. We gravitate towards these expected moves, guys. We gravitate towards them. Notice, I think it was this one right here. We gravitated. The weekly expected move last week was right here. We went to it on Friday. And then what did we do? We ripped and we ended above the other one by the end of the day. That was a crazy move. Let's look at AMC and GME. Most likely this is going to be rigged, so I will pay attention to them, guys. But watching AMC and GME the entire time is going to be like watching paint dry, because anytime this sees a pop, you're going to see halts. You're going to see short selling. So we just want to pay attention if that 30 minutes rolling up. 30-minute rolling up. Right now, trying to roll negative. So that tells me there could be a further pullback. But look at that, it confirmed the upward move, but notice it is overbought already. Notice it is overbought already. So I think maybe a likely thing, what if we just did something like pulled down and then filled the gap and then went back up by the end of the day, come about up towards 1200, and then at the end of the day, maybe 1200 is the rigged move. We'll see. We have to make sure things are actually confirming here. Okay, so we're going to wait for data on that. All right, how we doing? Fantastic channel. Thank you, Scott. Really appreciate it. GME needs to break 2758 and hold. So technically my levels for GME and AMC, if you wanted them, where it needs to get above, AMC needs to get above 519. That's when something crazy can happen, and GME needs to get above $29.03. I really think 40 is an important number too, but as long as it's above 20, you know that they're losing money, and as long as AMC is above 437, you know that they are losing money. Like, definitely. Most of their short positions, like the short selling positions, are down towards $2 for AMC. So let's look across the board here real quick. Let's look at some other ones. Let's see how Apple is reacting. Look at that. We mentioned this. Apple, like I said, there, you don't have to look at NVIDIA. You don't have to. You can see setups like this one. And now we're seeing what? A potential for a divergence to form here. There could be weakness coming in. So this tells me, well, if Apple's going to experience some kind of weakness, maybe something else does as well. Maybe this is all going to be given up. So I'm going to start to look for the NVIDIA play. I hope you guys can hear me when I turn all the way over here. I'm going to start to look at NVIDIA options. Let's do a quick one. I'll just show you guys how to do a quick one. Where's I said the $1,000 mark is what I'm going to target. Ooh, that's really cheap now, though. That might be too cheap. We might have to go a little higher. Let's buy one here. All right, 1,050 looks like a good level. Okay. So Apple here, this is not, if this is not able to confirm a higher move on the 15-minute, awesome. And then I want to look for where's a point to pay attention. Well, if this 5-minute rolls over at any time, I'd really start to pay attention. Now, I haven't bought anything with any shorts on NVIDIA or anything like that. I'm just going to show you guys how that is happening. The PCC is still at 0.95. So the puts are still a little bit more expensive than the calls. So the market maker might want to send stocks a little higher. They might want to rig it a little more than you think. But it could all come down today. We could get a lower high. Let's pay attention to XLU. That's starting to roll over. Negative territory right beneath you. If that rolls over, negative territory. If you start to break below here, something crazy can happen for XLU. If we start to see something crazy happen for XLU, we could start to see something crazy happen for the SPY. Now, The crash signal is a daily divergence. So if this 2 hour rolls over, maybe we go create that divergence and then we see some kind of buyback by the end of the week. We'll see. We'll see. But the SPY is going to most likely follow that signal and then maybe make a divergence with this trend line, and then we head up. It could take longer. It could take longer. You always want to pay attention to how they could be screwing you over. We have about 22 minutes until data drop. Let me keep NVIDIA up on my other screen here. There you are. All right, if it confirms that, I take my first scale in. I am available to scale in again. All right. Market down, dollar down. The market's up. The market's up. Now the market's up and the dollar is up, so you know insiders were selling a little bit over the overnight. I posted that on Patreon. Dollar is technically up, market is up. Now the dollar is going down because now we're seeing most likely retail buy into this. Retail's buying in. And once it's at like the towards the open, you know, okay, retail's most likely buying into this. The overnight is what I wanted to pay attention to. But you need probably a bigger spike than that to know like insiders are selling. But this could all be done. 4 hour has crossed up. That's not good. Daily crosses up. That's not going to be good. Maybe they bottom on the dollar and top on the market at the same time right here. Maybe it's going to be a little different this time. We'll pay attention. NVIDIA is a big stock. You see it's starting to violate the divergences on the daily here, but it's on the RSI and the MACD, and you know the bigger time frames have it. It's not going to be easy. So this technically does not have daily divergence. So if I take a play here, I'm going to take profit very quickly. 2 hour divergence is what I'm looking for. Tesla's selling. Tesla is selling. Look at that. Maybe we get a wick or something like that, but Tesla is selling. That's not good. You want to see if that daily is rolling into negative territory. AMD, this one here is going to look sketchy now because it's very close to negative territory. You're seeing XLU start to pull back. It's not looking very good for that. Meta, yeah, the pop higher. Let's look at this one. Remember, I said briefly it might go positive. There it is. 2 hour. What is that doing? Well, it still has the divergence from this point. As multiple point, it has triple divergence now. So that is not a good look here. You're up towards that weekly expected move. This is a play to pay attention to. 30-minute, no real divergence, nothing for an entry. 15-minute, maybe for an entry. And then you just want to make sure that 2 hour is completing. Lulu? Then I got to make sure to keep paying attention. As I break down Lulu, I'm just going to pull up my other charts. But puts are still too expensive. Lulu, you need some kind of 2 hour divergence down here. We talk about it all the time. This thing is dying off very quickly. You see how dramatically that's dropping down. You got confirmation of an upside potential move, but you're very far away from the center line. So I don't have a weekly range for this. So therefore, I would say this is not the best look. You have earnings. Earnings is a 50-50 flip. It does not matter what the stock looks like before earnings. That is very important. 50-50 flip every single time. Oh, I had the coin. No, where'd I put the coin? I had the 50-50 flip coin. I wanted to see if it would get Lulu right. Damn it. Okay, I need to find if there's any kind of shorter time frame weakness on NVIDIA. There is not. Most manipulated stock in the market right here. Holy crap. So like a good example of this, by the way, Lulu, what you're doing, flagging. So 2 hour crosses over negative territories right there. So if this 2 hour can roll over, you're going to go a little lower. Earnings is a 50-50 flip. I won't be messing with that in negative territory. I wouldn't mess with earnings at all. XLU, if this is able to confirm a downside move on the 2 hour, that would be very telling. We get data in 18 minutes, so something could be coming around the corner. You have Apple that's kind of signaling to you. Apple is one of the stocks that I've traded the most, right? Apple is one of the stocks that I've traded the most. I actually need to probably go take a trade on that. Let me go look. I need to pay attention to entry points. I need to get this set up a little bit better. Okay, let me see. Look at a monthly expected move. You guys are just seeing what I like to do in real time. Monthly expected move for Apple, 181. So if I wanted to take end of the month, I could target 181 and sell that when I see a bounce, and it'll be worth more, and someone will want it. All right. Now on Apple, so this is a 2-hour divergence very close to the center line. I want to make sure to have some kind of reason to take the trade. So if this 15-minute goes negative, that would be a good reason. This 30-minute can start to reject here. That would be a good reason. Then I just manage the trade on a 30-minute till I see the 2-hour get some more weakness, right? Till I see the 2-hour actually confirm this divergence. Then I can manage it on a 2-hour. All right, my order is placed at that price. So if it just sees a little bit more of a dip here, if it comes down to about this level of 194.17, that's where I will, it should execute my trade. I have to set that up. I might need to get this set up a little differently. GME moving up slowly. GME. Oh, shit. 30-minute curls up, positive territory. Remember, 30-minute curls up, positive territory. That is a big deal. That is a big deal. It could be playing out differently. Maybe they aren't, they're having big liquidity issues. You're seeing XLU drop off. If the 30-minute crosses here, that's not going to be good. Good morning, Quantat. And just to tell you about NVIDIA here, they're using this stock to rig it a little bit. I'm going to show you guys how to do it on the Apple trade. It'll be better. I'm going to show you guys on the Apple trade. I don't want to convince anyone to take anything here. Even though I can see a big drop, you can pay attention to these signals. If you've taken the course, highly encourage you to manage the risk. But me as a good trader, this is not something that I really want to mess with. I really want to take it though. I want to try it, but they could literally just like see any turn down. It could just rip right back up if they have to pay for to suppress GME and AMC. So I really want to teach you guys how to practice good habits. And Apple looks so good. Like it looks really, really good. It's already confirmed the divergence. You're seeing another push higher to the weekly expected move, which is just like a godsend. It's like a godsend saying like, hey, here's a better position. Like you, if you missed out on this crossing down, it's like, here you go. Right? You go into a 5-minute. You go into a 5-minute, you just say, hey, if this sees weakness, it can go negative. It's creating a big divergence right here. So there's a good point for this 5 minutes to go negative. Once that happens, you can start to see big downturns. Watch the 2-hour, see if that thing can go down. Right? This looks like a great trade setup. It looks so much better than NVIDIA. Luke, this might be a dumb question, but can I buy your course with a credit card? Yeah. Credit card, PayPal. We just opened up PayPal because people overseas were having trouble buying it. I want everyone to be successful. I don't care if you live here. I treat everyone the same on this channel. Anywhere you live, I'm glad you're here. That's awesome. All around the world, we get people from Australia, Europe, all kinds of places. Quick $700 scalp on SMCI. That's awesome. Now, technically, okay, guys, I just want to admit it. I just scalped AMD. I just made 30% on AMD real quick. But you notice how fast I'm being in this environment. This still can surge upward, but I'm being very fast. Tesla, are you wicking up? Not sure. Robert, on what? Tiny URL is just like it's a shortened, um, it's just a shortened link. It'll send you to Teachable if it's a tiny URL. Are we still looking for a top and then a crash in the markets or reduction in jobs today? Going to feed frenzy of interest rate cuts sooner and thus markets ramp up. 2 minutes and I'm in and out. Yeah, that's pretty much how I was with AMD. AMD played it for like literally like a minute there. I was like, let me take a chance on this. It confirmed on the 30-minute. Up, went up a little bit. All right, NVIDIA looks like it's topping out. I don't want to fuck around with AMD because this is bad. This is very bad for Tesla. If that holds by end of day, that is not good. GME. Okay, GME. What was the question? Has the 30-minute curled up? That's very good to pay attention to. Remember, this is going to be rigged. So what happens right when you think there's a big pause? That's a great bar. This is what should be happening, but you really think all the retail people holding GME are going to sell at 28.65? It's rigged. It literally is rigged. It's so funny. All right, let's check on the dollar real quick. Dollar starting to gain some ground here in positive territory for a 30-minute. Remember, dollar 2-hour, very important. We could see some kind of dip down, push the market a little bit higher. PCC at 1. PCC at 1. So this is not the best time, right, according to the premiums, to take short positions. Now, individual stocks can be different. There is a lot of calls on Apple, okay? There is a lot of calls on Apple. This is what they want to cause in NVIDIA. God dang it, come on. All right, I'll see if I can get that to pop up soon. Oh God, Max Payne, you're just messing with me. I gotta find a better Max Payne. I've just used this one forever. Here, let me reorganize here real quick. I'll leave Max Payne up. But there's a huge amount of calls on Apple, so we got 11 minutes till data drop. Apple, if that confirms on the 2-hour, gonna be a great, great thing. It means that the daily can roll over. Where's the daily at? Well, it's in positive territory with divergence at this point. So you could get the rejection divergence now. So this is where you can say, okay, if this sees a red bar here, okay, I can manage this on a daily chart. We might see a big drop today. Apple is saying I'm going to get a big drop. What's XLU saying? XLU is rejecting the crossing as well as of right now on the daily scale. So we might see it a little different this time. Now, just know that if we're going to see it the same, we're still going to make that divergence. It could just take more time, right? It could take a lot of time. That's why we said 30 days. We said 30 days, maybe it does this. Then you see a divergence here on a 2-hour. That is still likely to happen. It is a probable scenario, okay? Because all we have to do is see some kind of rapid move in XLU down, and then on Friday we see that rip back up. And then the SPY follows that. What if the SPY rips down and then hits this trend line and then rips back up? Double bottom. Okay? I want you guys to be very aware of these things because look at this. You'd make a slight 2-hour divergence down here. Positive territory will be even closer, right? So we're paying attention. NVIDIA, what's it doing? It's trying to get to 1200, probably before 9 a.m. I think unemployment is the most important thing for this week. I think unemployment is very important. If that comes down, people are worried about weakening in the economy right now. That's what the media is telling you to be scared of. And look at this, they can rig it so it comes out 7:30, and then guess what? They can put that in at 3.6, and then people will go, "Oh, unemployment, it's going down. That's great." So you could see some kind of move down like this, and then it rips right back up to 1200. And then next week, what if he executes the contracts next week? We have GME earnings. So no, you have not crossed up on the 30-minute, but you haven't crossed down on the 2-hour. Very key point here. You did not cross down on the 2-hour. What if we see a little fake pump here? And then all that's going to happen is people are going to think that it's over by next week, maybe. And then, uh-oh, what if Roaring Kitty posts that he didn't sell just like last time? That would be pretty cool. All right, Apple finally popped up for me. Apple, if you didn't know, going into today had a 0.53 put to call ratio. So puts technically on Apple were cheaper. All right, let me look at the chat real quick. Took 5 put contracts on Apple. Good luck, Morpando. You've been knowing what to do, Morpando. You've been knowing what to do. Like you've taken the course, you know what to do. Manage that risk. Manage that risk. GME, it needs to curl up on a 30-minute. That's the most basic thing for today. You need to roll up on a 30-minute. Now, if that's not going to happen, see how the 15 minutes rolled up, but it's in negative territory. It's trying to go positive. If this rolls down, that's not going to roll up the 30-minute. That's how you know. That's how you know, JJ. Thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Canada cut the rate. No way. They actually cut the rate. So we got to manage our risk. Now they cut the rate. Why did they cut the rate? That's still important, Marina. Can you tell me why they cut the rate? Shaking the tree with AMC. Yeah. We say this all the time, right? And you actually have 15-minute divergence, by the way, right now on the SPY. By the way, you do have it. You see that? Let's see if it's on the 30. Yeah, you have it on the RSI, not on the MACD. So this would tell me this is a pullback on the 30-minute, but the 50-minute, you have it. So daily expected move down here can come into play today. If this confirms, then you might see a rapid move outside of this. And you may even want to go tomorrow down to that weekly expected move. So we'll see. A lot of the time, you like to play out like this. See some kind of bounce, everyone takes calls, and then it goes back down. Then down in this area, you start to base out a little bit stronger. Yeah, so I'm going to play Apple because when I think about it, this channel is about teaching you good habits. This is something that I said is a very bad habit. It's a very bad habit to try to trade the most rigged stock in the market. Now, AMC and GME, you don't even have to do an option with it, and the risk to reward is there. We say don't risk an amount of money you're not willing to lose, right? But the risk to reward is there. You're on the right side. You're on the side of non-corruption. You're on the side that is you're Batman. You're Batman. And the short sellers are Joker. And they are, putting traps out there, right? The Joker likes traps. You're Batman. The short sellers are Joker. And the SEC right now, or you would say E-Trade right now, is the corrupt police, while there's probably someone out there who would be considered, as in maybe someone from the SEC who's actually investigating the right thing, would be your Commissioner Gordon. Good morning, Luke Cassidy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. NVIDIA to 1200. Look, I told it's going to get to most likely to get above 1200 for a moment. People will get excited. They like whole numbers. Let's get the likes up, Zoom. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for saying that. S&P Global Services PMI, 5 minutes for that. That's that's global, right? So that's global. It went higher. That is not good. TLT, you should be coming down with that info. Yeah, TLT should be going down with that info, I believe. Ooh, TLT setting up another 15-minute divergence here. I think we're going to see these yields start to bounce. That might affect the SPY. 15-minute divergence forming on the SPY right now. You see it. It's on the 30-minute. So if you want that extra confirmation, 30-minute cross down, but notice it is not on the MACD at the same time. So this could be a pullback. So pay attention if this 30-minute goes like this and rolls back up, right? It has to cross back up because you could just do this, right? And then create a 30-minute divergence in the future. BITF. What is BITF? Bitfarms? That's a lot of choppy divergences, so I want to make it more clear. 2-hour divergence at the high here, you're still far away from the center line. So you can see a drop here, but don't think that this can't just go get a double top, okay? Now, if you do see a drop here, okay, don't think that that can't be a lower high. You always want to pay attention. This is positive territory, so if you make another move higher after a drop here, which it looks like you got divergence here, you don't have it here, so this could be some kind of pullback to create that divergence, right? Create that divergence. And then you see one like this. This one down here would look better than that one. Being very patient is very good. We talk about patience a lot in the course. Path new low. We talked about path a little bit. Yeah, that's yikes. That looks very ugly. 30-minute close to the center line. If that rolls over, path might just keep going down. Yeah, path might just keep going down. There's no type of reversal stuff here. Qs, what do you look like? Do you have the oh, Qs hit the daily expected move. That's important. That's as high as we were supposed to go in the first 27 minutes of the day. We pretty much went as high as we were supposed to go for the entire day. We could see a pullback here, guys. Just remember, it could be a pullback. We can see a difference in the dollar than the market. We can see a difference in, just depends. We can see a difference in TLT than the market. We can see a difference in XLU than the market. So pay attention. If XLU confirms a downward move after we get that data, that's not going to be a good look. We have not caught up to this. PCC is still high, so they most likely want to rig the market to go higher. Calls are cheaper. But in the individual stuff, like say Apple or something like that, maybe, just maybe, some stuff starts to fall while things like Tesla start to gain some ground, right? Because now everyone's going to short this. Right when they try to short it, it starts to head up. Okay, 15-minute goes positive. Positive move can come. You can test this high all the way up here. We're just going down into the trap area. We've been there a ton of times. That's why I'm like, Tesla looks really wonky. I'm not trading this at all. I will stay far away from it. Has this hit 1200 yet? I'm surprised. So now if they don't hit 1200, I think that the job's not done yet. I think this will be maybe some kind of pullback. I'll pay attention. Dollar. It's on a 15-minute. We don't like 15 minutes, but we'll see. We got 1 minute volatility. Ooh, volatility 2 hour. If that 2 hour curls up today, not a good look. You have 30-minute divergence on volatility. The likelihood we sell off here is pretty good now. You have a lot of probabilities here. 30-minute divergence. Remember, you want to pay attention to these signals at the same time as the SPY. The SPY, what do you have? You have 30-minute divergence on the RSI at the same time. You have 15-minute divergence right now on both. Okay, so this can roll negative for some time here. So that just tells you volatility and SPY have the same signal at the same time. That is why I'm so good at paying attention to at trading volatility. Volatility can go up dramatically. Did that confirm? Did that confirm on volatility? That's a play I would like to take. Yeah, that confirmed. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to take, these are quick plays. These are very quick plays that I'm placing here. I'm just looking for a quick double on Apple. I think they're going to rig the market. So I think they're going to rig it for a move higher again. But I'm going to take a quick play on Apple. And I'm going to take a quick play on UVXY. There you go. Boom. Oh, 53.8. That is bad. That is bad. But remember, puts are still expensive. Okay? So they may fudge around with it for a little while, convince you that it's going up. Now, if it's just bad enough to sell off, well, then people are very bearish sentiment right now. AMC is close to 5. So notice UVXY, I did not even look at the price of UVXY. I did not even look at the price of UVXY. I only looked at volatility. Because this is a double bottom. Volatility is going to tell me before UVXY, so I'm taking a play on it. Let me get this on too. Here. AMC, we're up. UVXY, we're up. Okay, awesome. GME, we're up. Nice. Everything looks good. Cool, cool. Gonna go screen towards 1200. Why is the data bad? So technically, well, it depends, but technically the data could be bad because of inflation. So a higher PMI means more growth in the manufacturing services, which tells you that the economy is still growing. And if inflation is still bad, then you would say, uh-oh, that is not good. So for the yields, and this is where we can see that difference in the yields. Yields technically should have bounced from that. We'll see if that actually happens. Kind of a weird behavior. You see TLT starting to sell off here. So TLT can start to sell off. You actually have a 30-minute divergence up here. You can barely see it, but I think we just get a retest, and then I think unemployment comes out as good, and we see some kind of trap build to the downside. They need people to buy calls, though. This is way too high up. This is way too high up. Calls are cheap. They might just rig it to the upside, so I got to be careful with my risk management. So PMI being up is a decent thing if you want a growing economy. Now remember this, we said the head and shoulders, we're still up in this area. We could go dig down a little bit more, get a complicated right shoulder. But the fact that PMI is up in a time where inflation is still bad, that could mean we're going to see a sell-off here, okay? So it just depends on what narrative, and I'm going to manage my risk. Check the dollar screaming higher. So see the dollar screaming higher while the SPY holds up a little bit better. That is not good. And it already moved higher in the pre-market. So someone knew the data before we did. Someone knew the data before you did. Someone knew the data before you did. Notice it didn't hit that low again when the market went higher. Someone knew the data before you did. That's very important to understand. That is how they rig markets. Someone on the inside sold. Someone on the inside is selling right now. That is a big, big selling move. The SPY should be selling off dramatically from that. It's not bad that both are positive and pumping. What it means is if AMC and GME are pumping at the same time as NVIDIA, it means that they are most likely trying to build money to still force AMC and GME down. Once you know AMC and GME is happening, you're going to see NVIDIA most likely drop off dramatically. Let's look at some 30 minutes here. This here, not curled up yet, but GME looked pretty strong. Look at that. It looks like it wants to curl up. One more 30-minute bar, you have a confirmation of upside potential, a positive move. Your MACD is telling you, the momentum is telling you. I am not telling you. Your indicator down here is telling you if this goes green, there is potential for upside. Okay? That is what is happening right now. What should happen to gold? Well, gold most likely scales up because if inflation is the play, ooh, it didn't scale up though. That's interesting. But where's that 15-minute pullback? I would figure gold would go up here. Yeah, gold futures holding up. The stock is being weird. Yeah, 4-hour curling up, positivity is there. I think at least gold futures goes up. It's just GLD is being weird. This might be an option thing. This might be the market makers messing with the options, but right now, gold futures heading higher. Miss, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you for subscribing, guys. And thank you guys for liking. 300 people in here today. Give a round of applause for you guys. How high can GME can go and AMC too? Well, that is a very vague question. That's a very vague question. What do you mean? What time frame? What are you talking about? Because how high can AMC and GME go? Well, technically, if the problem was in the opposite direction, like NVIDIA, so say the opposite direction is NVIDIA right now. Well, if NVIDIA has a bunch of money, if it is 100% a bubble, like GME and AMC are pretty much 100% a short sale problem, and it's actually more than 100%, right? It's almost 500% short interest added up over time on AMC. That's crazy, and GME is just as bad. So, but the problem for NVIDIA is to the upside. So if that was 100% a bubble, right, or more than 100%, you have a floor. There's a number called 0. You can't go negative. Once you hit 0, you're done, right? If I only have $100 and I lose $100, I'm done, unless I take out debt and things like that. But The point of GME and AMC, if you're asking how high can it go, it could go. So the way I phrase it is this. If I gave you the rest of your life right now to count starting at the dollar number of one and you add one every single time and you're counting all day, every day for the rest of your life, how high do you think you could get? How high do you think you could get? That's how high GME and AMC could go. If I could count from $1 for the rest of my life, and I'm only about 32 years old now, I'll be 32 in August. That's when I started my YouTube channel, when I'm pretty much around my birthday. I'll be 32 in August. If I counted for the next, say, let's say maybe I live 50 years. Let's hope 50 years, right, guys? You guys want to be a part of this for 50 years. So if I counted for 50 years, how high do you think I could get? I could get really fucking high. That sounds weird. Like I'm smoking or something. I can get really, really high. The point here is GME and AMC could technically go infinite because there is no ceiling. There is no such thing as the number 0 above you. Yes, that's why people say to the moon, but if they're actually being correct in this scenario, it depends on how much money they put in. We don't know exactly how much money is in this thing to the downside that they really rigged. So it could be infinite. We don't know the number. Now, I calculated it to about the highest I think it could go is $30,000. The highest I think AMC could go is about $1,100. Good morning, Scar King. Okay, wait, you want to look at a 5-minute on AMC? Let's look at a 5-minute. 5 minutes are fun on AMC. So this is an important point. We're starting to get to the area. Remember what we said. It needs to stay above, it needs to get above 519. Good thing here, 5-minute is positive. If that thing can scream positive, notice this. Positive cross right here, more positivity. Positive cross right here, more positivity. This is exactly how the 30-minute works. The same thing works on the 30-minute. It's just stronger momentum. So this thing could go ballistic if it gets above that red line right there. 15-minute, able to curl up, positive move, boom. Goes positive right here, boom. 30-minute is what I like the most. This is confirming right now. GME, this is, remember I said AMC looks a little bit better right now. I said that in my video last night. GME hasn't crossed yet, but AMC has. And people ask, if GME and AMC are the same, then why over time is GME, positive to now, and why is AMC negative? That actually convinces me that the problem on AMC might be worse. It might be worse because they forced it to go negative. They were closer to the job being done for AMC. They were closer to 0. That's the job being done. So what do they want to do? They really want to force down AMC even harder, get it to 0. It's not working. Aleem, I hope that kind of answered your question. Now, as far as where could it go, you just pay attention to your momentum signals. Anytime this 30-minute curls down, it is going to see a pullback. Anytime it curls back up, as long as it's positive, it's going to see a positive move. That's what we said all the way up here during this first pump. This is how you do these things as a trader. You just pay attention to your momentum signals. Right here, it crossed down. So on this bar right here at 739, you had no reason for upside. Boom, it curls down. Now you have contrarian indication. Contrarian goes positive for a moment. Suppression, suppression, suppression. 15-minute divergence drops down, able to go positive. Big move, turns down, able to go positive again. Look at all of that that's happening here. It's awesome. We love to see it. Apple, real quick, let's check on that. So now you need this. This is 30-minute divergence all across the way. This is triple divergence. This is a bunch of little divergences up here. Apple's saying, I have weakness coming. XLU is making the right move. Look at that. SPY trying to drop off, but XLU is much deeper. And it curled over. Negative territory is there. It looks very ugly for XLU. Now, XLU could do this. It could create a 30-minute divergence here. We could be done at the end of the day. It could roll over the 2-hour, right? The 2-hour, if that rolls over, if this doesn't make that 30-minute divergence and curl that 2-hour back up, we see a big drop. The SPY most likely will follow and curl over that 2-hour if that happens. As of right now, XLU has curled over the 30-minute. So most likely the SPY will curl over this 30-minute. If you want to pay attention a little closer, 15-minute divergence, if that confirms, watch that if that goes negative. If they need to, they can rig this throughout the day, especially during the retail hours, see this do something like this, and then go back down, right? Because They need this put call ratio to change. And look, it's starting to change. It's barely starting to change. It got a topping tail. People are starting to give up already. You're smarter than that. Is there a divergence on the VIX? Yes, Pablo, 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. It is there. It is confirmed. How long would this back and forth keep going before we see the next big pump for AMC and GME? The next big pump. Okay, so you guys want to see big pumps. Big pumps will happen as the bigger time frames curl over. The bigger the time frame, the bigger the momentum, the more liquidity behind the move. Okay, so for GME to see a big pump, you need this to cross over, right? It's rejecting right now. Awesome. Awesome. That's already crossed over. So we need a big time frame to cross over. That's going to be the daily. If the daily crosses over, you can see 2 days in a row of gap ups. If GME is able to cross over, look at that. Daily is crossing over. This is daily momentum as of right now. We have a lot of time left, 5 hours and 46 minutes left. You have a lot of time left, but this is daily momentum as of right now, saying this is your opportunity. If that confirms by the end of the day, then you would say, okay, this makes sense according to my momentum indicator. Just know they can rig it to go the other way. That's why buying shares is better than taking options, because time doesn't hurt you as much. If GME is able to hold above 40, or what's the number that I said? The number over here. Did this hit 1200 yet? High, no, it didn't. GME, it needs to get above, it's already above 2903. So your next point to get above is $40. If you can get above $40, it might be game time, but this could be a fake pump. And we're going to pay attention to the SPY and the Qs, and we're going to pay attention to XLU. We're going to pay attention to our crash signal. We're going to pay attention to NVIDIA. In order for this to be real, NVIDIA needs to be selling off pretty dramatically. It's not doing that just yet. The put call options are saying that they're getting a topping tail, but puts are too expensive. So they need retail to be dumb and buy some calls. Once retail's dumb and buy some calls, at least gets below 0.95. I would like us to get below 0.8. Once we get below 0.8, what happens? Well, we start to see a pullback in the market, some kind of drop in the market, because puts are cheaper. Right now, the market maker needs to save money. They are losing money on these plays from GME and AMC. So what do you need to know? They need puts to be cheaper in order to take the play. Dollar, look at that guy. Look at this. Remember, the dollar can bottom before the actual market. 4-hour divergence down here. Did it confirm? It's all the way across the way. It confirmed. It confirmed. HYG giving it up. TLT giving it up. IWM, this is a good little trade setup, by the way. 2-hour divergence right here. IWM says I could go higher, but be careful with that environment. IWM might move just because of AMC and GME. If he exercises any contracts, they're like, sorry, I don't like to cuss. I know it's a serious channel, so they're screwed. Also, I thought about starting to update on my Twitter. Sounds like fun, but we'll see. We'll see if I want to. GME and AMC are the #1 trending thing on Twitter right now. Okay, so all of the top call option sellers combined do not have enough shares to satisfy the Roaring Kitty play. This is how he guarantees the move. This is how he guarantees the move. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can. I don't know how much I'll update it. We'll see. But it's called it's a MMM Technicals. MMM Technicals. And thank you so much for subscribing. Someone subscribe? Brad, welcome. Learning a lot about everything and how the entire market can show confirmation for how certain stocks move. Exactly, Debesh. You just want to pay attention to how you can get screwed as well. Let's go pay attention back over to AMC and GME. It is hitting $5. Look at the resistance come in. This is not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy. Look at that. We hit 518. Look, we're marking it off Perfect. We know the exact levels because we have weekly expected moves. We know exactly how high up. The options market does not want this to go. That is it. This is what we learn. This is what we do. This is why we give you these weekly expected moves. AMD is still climbing. Yeah, they can rig other ones. I'm not going to play that move anymore. Now, this can climb up. This can take time. 2 hour curls up, positive territory. You might see a divergence up here. That'd be a great little play. The craziness can continue. But just know, we're paying attention to the best levels on probably any channel. Now, GME, it was up towards its weekly expected move, but I guarantee you they do not want it to remain above there. That is where they get damaged. That is where they get damaged. Above 2903, anything above 2903 is bad for them, good for us. Anything above 518 is good for. So notice this, AMC is more suppressed than GME right now. AMC is more suppressed. So which one do you think they're scared of right now? Which one do you think they might even have more money in right now? AMC, they were closer to the goal. I think AMC is the sleeper. I still have both. I have both now. Love this channel. You mentioned NVIDIA puts are more expensive. How much of a difference in percentage put versus calls? So you wouldn't assume that. Okay, you can't pretty much. I need the order flow. I'm actually in talks with if you guys have heard of, oh God, we've mentioned it multiple times on this channel. They sent me an email. Shit, what's the order flow company that everyone likes? Bookmaps. So if Bookmaps can give us that data, I'm going to take a partnership with them because that is something we really want to have. As of right now, we can go over here. The best thing we can do, because I don't trust anyone else's order flow. I would trust Bookmaps. We know there's a lot of calls actually, so puts are starting to become cheaper, but you only have a 0.72. If that goes below 0.7, like today, if people take more calls on NVIDIA today, it could be ripped away. Let me look at the Apple trade. Perfect touch of the weekly expected move for Apple. Perfect touch. Oh my goodness, what did that hit? High 196.42, weekly expected move 196.51. Very, very good. So for Apple, you can tell if it's rigged, and this is why I'm willing to scale in, right? If this 5 minute curls over, that's when I really am going to start to put another scale in. I took one early just in case. I'm managing the trade. If this 5 minute crosses down, then I can say, okay, let me stab at it again. Let me take another couple contracts. And then if that curls up again, I could say, okay, let me get out of those couple contracts. Now up here, I'm going to buy 4 contracts. Bookmaps, yeah. So Bookmaps keeps emailing me. They've emailed me twice now in the last 10 days. They really want to do a partnership. If they can have tools that we can utilize, I'll get it. If I don't think it is useful for you guys, I won't. I don't want to take sponsorships or anything. I don't want to be the guy that's like, this video is sponsored by, like, I don't want to do that. But if it is useful, we will do it. As of right now, I don't see it as useful. You only trust the one that pays you. I've gotten like 6 different sponsorship opportunities. I've gotten 6 different ones. I've said I've just not emailed any back. I do not want to do it, but Bookmaps is something that is proven to be good. Load the boat further on TLT. You only like the one that'll pay you. They like you guys. I've gotten sponsorship opportunities for the last like 3 months. I don't take any of them. 15-minute divergence did confirm for TLT, so that's saying downside is there. So now that we know this is pulling back, we know the yields potentially could bounce. What's the dollar doing? It is still holding up higher while the market holds up a little bit better. XLU, this is dropping off still. Tactical TED, so I think you have a chance for some weakness here. The data supports it. This PMI says inflation. It's higher, right? PMI is higher. That means the economy is still growing. Inflation will grow as the economy grows, right? So that's why the yields probably need to bounce a little bit higher here. But I'd pay attention to Friday. I think unemployment, we could see a rigged move. Lucas, you're a model, my man. I have. Well, you're a model of a man. Yeah, I've modeled before. I got asked to be on Love Island. I still get asked to be on Love Island. I'm like, I'm kind of married, but I always ask my wife if she'll like maybe apply. I applied like years ago, and they keep telling me they want me to be on it. And I'm like, that'd be sick if like she could be on it. We like fake our way through it just to get a cool vacation. No, if I do a sponsorship, I want to make my own stuff. Like I talked about the local Kansas farmers market coffee company. Like there's a local family here that makes their own coffee, and it is delicious, and I love it. I would love to do something like that. So be cautious and wait till Friday. Yeah, I think you need to wait for a pullback in this overall TLT move. If you just look, oh, not a 45 minute, we don't do that. 30 minute, you see this curling down. It's still positive, right? So if that can curl down for a couple of days, curl back up, that'd be good. See if like an hourly can curl down, curl back up, that'd be good. Morphling man. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. I knew a model. She made an easy million. Yeah, being a model in Kansas is a little bit different, but I got asked to do some crazy things back in the day, man. I got asked to do some wild things. I got asked to be flown out to New York for stand up. I got asked to be on those big like podcasts that you see, like not Fresh and Fit, but some stuff similar to that in Florida. I got asked to fly out to California for some like YouTuber or something. And I was just like, these people are douchebags. You do not like, as much as you guys probably are like, oh, it'd be cool to be famous. Once you see how much people suck, like I just deleted everything. I do not have social media anymore. I only have Twitter to check on updates for Roaring Kitty, pretty much. Maybe do a play on the Wizard of Oz for that Kansas coffee stuff. Oh, yeah, that's true. Inflation going down, stocks going to rally through June. What? I think you need to realize as well, once inflation actually does go down, that means we're experiencing deflation. Do you notice that as inflation is still up, the stock market has hit new all-time highs? Do you not find that a little interesting? It is because assets like car prices, just like housing prices, they go up because things are inflating. Things are inflating. So, what would happen in deflation now that you know that, now that you're really thinking about it? Deflation would actually cause assets to go down, housing prices to go down, car prices to go down. What other assets are there? Stocks. Stocks can go down in deflation. That is the biggest thing. They're training you to think that at the end of all this, stocks will head higher when we go through deflation. It is not true. No, I did not used to do stock market trading. I used to be a Twitch streamer. I was a just chatting streamer. But I'm a grown ass man now. I can't be goofing around and drinking all the time. In 1 year, I got 250,000 subscribers on TikTok and I blew up everywhere and was a Twitch streamer, but it was very bad for my liver and I hated it. I'm also a marketing expert, so yeah, mainly in short form. How's AMC looking? It looks pretty good on the 30 minute. You're getting a cross up, but there's the rigged move. We knew exactly where it would happen. Very, very cool. We need some deflation. Exactly. You need some deflation. It'll be better for your grocery store. It'll be better for if you really need a car. It'll be better for if you need any kind of service. It'll be better for everything. Out of Apple trade. Perfectly fine. You're playing that risk to reward game. I like it. I'm just waiting for this 30 minute to curl over for me to truly get that bigger scale in. Lulu looks appealing here. Lulu looks like trash. Panda has earnings. Lulu looks like trash. This 2 hour curls over. That just says all negativity, brother. Now, if you're an investor, right? Investor would say something different. They would look at the support levels. They would say, okay, this is the area where I would potentially buy, blah, blah, blah. But as of right now, you could say, oh, I have daily divergence. This might be a good buy here. The only problem is if you're trading it, not investing, if you're trading it, you have earnings. Earnings is a 50-50 flip every time. The market will crash when they lower the interest rates. Thank God. Thank God. We did it. We did it. Yay. That's exactly what it is. The interest rates go down, and then sometimes it takes 6 to 18 months, and then we find a top in the market, and the interest rates actually uninverting is what is the signal that a crash is coming in the next 6 to 18 months. Oh, Kegman, stop. We're having fun today. You've been here one time. You've been here one time. We're not full of ourselves. We just like when we're right. We can't be excited when we're right. God damn. I gotta make this subscriber only. So at least you gotta subscribe to say dumb shit. Nobody is full of themselves here. The one thing we actually say in the course a lot is being humble and being able to be wrong. And that's what helps you out as a trader. So if you really want to see what we're paying attention to, we're saying the market doesn't have to crash right now. This 2 hour could create a divergence. The 30-minute could create a divergence. We bounce up. And that means the SPY is most likely going to create a divergence down here on the 30-minute, down here on the 2 hour. Thinkorswim retirement account. It said one of my positions was up $600. I sold after calculating the transaction. I was actually down 130. What the hell? Oh yeah, it's fine. When you open yourself up to it, it's perfectly fine. I'm used to way more trolls, way worse trolls than this, honestly. But at the end of the day, if you would just sit and pay attention and maybe humble yourself a little bit, I've been humbled by the market plenty of times. I know that the market can humble me real quick, but it is nice to celebrate the win. I would encourage you that if you get a win in the market, hey, go look in the mirror and high five yourself. It's a very good thing. Hey, it's all right. We ignore them. Let's talk about stocks. Who wants to look at something? Tesla, look at the bait. See what I'm saying? I think this is how they're doing it. They're kind of manipulating stocks at different times. That's why we have to really pay attention when NVDA goes down. NVIDIA is going to be the important one. What are we doing? We're going to hit 1200. 1200 might be the point where PCC is starting to slowly come down. It's just people are smart. People are being smart here. The dollar still climbing. Still climbing. Volatility dropping off now. Dropping off now. I got to manage that risk, right? I got to manage that risk because I don't want to be screwed by the market. The market can humble me real quick. Could be very bullish for metals. Let's see if gold's going to make that move. Look at that. See, gold. We just looked at gold futures. That kind of gave us the hint there. 30-minute divergence has confirmed on this bar. So we can turn up this 2 hour. What's the cool part about the 2 hour? Well, has that divergence as well. Very, very cool. So now we can look at the daily as that is rejecting. So that is turning back up. If that goes to positive territory, we can see a big move for gold here. We could see a big move for gold here. Pay attention to a divergence. Triple divergence could form, right? So we have to pay attention to that. But if you start to go really up high, maybe you make a divergence later on. And also just anytime this rolls over, man, anytime this rolls back over, just be a little bit cautious. You're still decently close, especially if you have that divergence. Oof, decently close. If you get a lower high, still close to the center line. QQQ, please. Yes, let's look at QQQ. Sorry, the SPY is the most important for the. Ooh, that is a move and a half. Holy crap. If this holds for the whole day and creates that divergence, that would be nice. That would be our crash signal, right? So we're still watching the 2 hour for the Qs. This is going to be the crash signal as well. If this 2 hour at any moment over the next, 48 hours just curls over, that is the crash signal saying, hey, I have a high probability it's right now. Remember, we pay attention to CPI is going to be a bump in the road in a little bit next week, I believe. But remember, what we're paying attention to is what you actually should pay attention to: unemployment. CPI has not crashed the market. It is not crashing the market. Nothing about the CPI has ever crashed the market. It really hasn't. Look where we are after all the bad CPI readings. We're at all-time highs. Okay, so the thing you need to pay attention to is unemployment. Unemployment is very important, and bank failures. We can look at HIMS. So you think the QQQ and the SPY should be dropping soon because the Dixie is going up? Yeah, so the dollar's going up. The reason the market's not going to drop, though, PCC is too high. The market makers don't want to drop the market, but look at that. Dollar screaming higher as the market goes higher. As the Qs go higher, the dollar goes higher. That is a signal. Now, that can happen for a long time. Don't think that has to be like that last Friday. It just happened to be the most rigged thing we've seen. That doesn't have to happen. But what we want to pay attention to now is the Qs are now outside of the weekly. That is something to pay attention to. It is Wednesday. It's not even an hour, or it's about an hour into trading on Wednesday. And we are outside of that move. You have a 68% chance for a drop now. You have a 68% chance for a drop. What I would really like to see is actually, I know it's weird, but I would like to see us at least end with at least the Qs kind of crossed over on this MACD. That'd be cool. SPY. Yeah, see, I would like to see these cross, but XLU didn't cross. There could be more work to be done, but just know XLU rejected the crossing as of right now. There could be more work to be done. We are open to being wrong. We are open to a 2-hour divergence here. We're open to a 30-minute there. We will pay attention. But just know this 2-hour turning over for both the SPY, for both the Qs, is a good signal because look where it is. It's right by negative territory, and you might just see a deep move like this one over here. But we do have a trend line here, okay? So if we wanted to give that up, oh God, it's deep, and then we do this, what if that's actually pretty brief, right? We could look at the futures market. Maybe we see it a little cleaner, but that's what we're paying attention to as of right now. We always want to pay attention. We don't want to get in the headspace of, oh, we're 100% right. You're never 100% right. Everything is a probability. Someone asked me to look at something. I want to look at HIMS. Paul, I wanted to look at HIMS for you. Let's just check it out. This here 2-hour triple divergence trying to form here. Okay, triple divergence trying to form here. 30-minute. If this 30-minute rolls over, look how close it is to the center line. Look at the 1, 2, multiple point and triple divergence, I would say, between all these highs. This looks like this move is going to be given up. Now you do have a little bit of room if you're going to have this divergence here. I just really see if this turns over and goes negative. If that goes negative, it rejects the 2-hour. If the 2-hour rolls negative, maybe we want to look at this on the daily scale. Daily scale, it's way up there. So still leaning, it's way up there. So a pullback could be likely here. But you do have divergence on the RSI, not on the MACD at the same time. You do have divergence on the RSI here, but not on the MACD at the same time. If NVIDIA hits 1200, will you make a play? I discussed this a little bit ago. I kind of have been back and forth. NVIDIA is very manipulated, and the potential for us to squeeze is still there because the put-call ratio is high. So NVIDIA, I want to, this channel is a lot about making better decisions and making better plays. This is a play that can happen and can play out this way, but the smartest thing to do as a trader is look for something that looks a little cleaner. I think Apple looks very, very clean here. If that crosses over, you have a 30-minute triple divergence. It's very wonky, but I want you to see it. It's very wonky, but it's there. And then if that just curls over, you're at the weekly expected move. So I'm just saying, because the stock is rigged, I want to encourage good behavior. I don't want people to not be able to manage this trade. I was going to do it, but then I see the Apple trade, and at the end of the day, I like to make money, and I know that this stock is rigged, and they could just make it keep going if they want to. So I'm sorry. I know it would have been exciting. Another one you can look at is look at AMD. It's making that big move we were talking about. Look at this. You could do AMD instead, right? Do you invest in many long-term stocks? If so, would you let your community know when you buy or think something is a decent price? Yeah, I will. Because I think talking about investing is very important. I'm thinking about adding an investing portion to the course, just because I know that not everyone can be good. I kind of called it this. Not everyone can be good at trading like 30-minute charts. People can't react. People can't control emotion, right? So maybe you don't do the risk management correctly. So not everyone can be good at a 30-minute chart. So that's where you say, am I good at a 2-hour chart? Am I good at managing that? Oh, I'm still bad at that. Am I good at a daily chart? If I'm not good at a daily chart, I can still use all of this info to invest. So we might add an investing section to the course, because if you're making even 10, 20, 30% a year, say 10 to 30% a year off of just investing on a monthly or a weekly chart, you will do fantastic. You will make more money than a lot of people, a lot of traders in the stock market, right? So we're about at 1200. Is this correct? Yeah, I said I would. I did say I would. But at the end of the day, I'm here to make money. This thing is rigged going higher. I think it's still a good play. I still would admit this looks like a good play, but I don't want them to just, I take an option and they just go like, uh, 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 you know what I mean? It might be a very, very difficult one. So this is where I say on the channel, I'm encouraging good behavior. Good behavior is there are other opportunities out there forming. Meta is one of them. Meta, I think, is one of the best opportunities right now. You hit the weekly expected move. You have a 2-hour divergence right by the center line. You have a daily. This is screaming negativity compared to NVIDIA. This is screaming negativity. I said it would flash positive. Look for that to cross back down. A 2-hour divergence can cause that to cross back down. What do you have? Multiple divergences here, triple divergences here, almost quadruple divergence here on a 2-hour scale. This is a great trade setup. Microsoft, not so much. Google, if Google can go a little bit higher, you have a great trade setup, right? So these type of things look better. And NVIDIA still looks good. I'm not saying it doesn't look good. I'm just saying being a good behavior trader, someone who really thinks about risk, I would not take NVIDIA. There are better plays. Apple is looking like a great play. You have a 2-hour divergence up here. You have a daily divergence up here, trying to make it happen right now. So that can really see some weakness. 30-minute, you have 30-minute divergence up here. Once that crosses down, I'm going to take a position. I already have one small position just in case some crazy thing happens, but then I'm going to add a bigger position once this crosses over. Covert, you don't use TradingView. So I've used TradingView forever. That's just where I've found it. You just use TradingView, type PCC. Even if you make a free account, you can make a watch list and stuff. And you just want to pay attention, and you can look at these levels. 1.956 is what I like, and 0.8. Usually past 0.8, we start to see puts get a little cheaper across the board. When we get above 0.95, puts or calls start to become more cheap across the board. Once we get above 1, calls become very cheap. That's why we're most likely going to see upside. Everyone is going to try to short NVIDIA, and it's just going to fuel the problem. Then they're going to rip it away and try to fight the AMC going above $5. 30 minutes still crossed. GME, 30 minutes still cross. Our ADHD moment. It's been a while getting money. Hopefully you're out there getting money. That's what I want to see. Getting money. But yeah, it's been a little while. I just started streaming again last week. I finally got my new desk set up. So I know that I don't look the most presentable, but your boy has a baby girl and she got her shots, and I almost had to take her to the hospital last night. So she was running a fever for a long time. So I was kind of up. I maybe slept 4 hours, which is still good for what was going on. Yeah, closing above 5 would be great, but closing above 5.19 technically is actually the better level. That this is a support level we made, but the weekly ranges is right there as well. So if it's going to be a big drop or a slight drop, that's the kind of the problem here as well. The 30-minute is pretty positive. So if they wanted to, they could just keep doing this, and they could make this go like, oh, divergence here. They could make this go a little higher, make a divergence, make a triple divergence, and then it goes down. On the 2-hour, they could do the same thing. Look how high up that is. If this crosses up, crosses back down, crosses back up, it can be a complicated one. On the daily, the same thing is there, right? It is up here. It's violating the divergence. You still have it on the RSI. So they could pull it all the way down, have it go all the way back up, have it go all the way down, have it go all the way back up, and then curl it down again. So I'm not going to mess with it. There are signals out there that are telling me major weakness in other stocks. Like Google up here. If Google makes an upward move, okay, now you have a divergence up here, divergence on the RSI at the same time, a little bit deeper than NVIDIA, right? And then at the same time, if I make that 2-hour, well, look where the 2-hour is. It's right by the center line. Great little trade setting up right here. Sorry, that was at the top of the screen. Great little trade setting up right here. if this can happen. Now, if this just rolls over at any time, it's already negative. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now I just have confidence. What about overbought? I do not just take a trade because something is overbought. NVIDIA, if you just pull up, say, I like 30 minutes. If you pull up a 30-minute, look how often it gets overbought. And look how long it can remain overbought. Wednesday to Thursday, almost 2 days. Here it was overbought right here. Sure, it went unoverbought for just a little bit, but that's barely a pullback for NVIDIA. Okay, this was Friday all the way to, so a whole week you remained overbought, right? So you could remain overbought here if this AMC and GME thing, if they want to rig it that long, they could just remain overbought this whole time. And then the split comes and then they see a drop and then they go back to being overbought. Yes, this move can fade by the end of the day. You're seeing a lot of things outside of their weekly ranges. Meta was outside of it. Apple was outside of it. NVIDIA was outside of it. Tesla was going the opposite direction, right? So was Tesla outside of it? Tesla didn't get outside of its weekly move. Interesting. Tesla's just sitting right in the middle. Mara saw that move fade. What's Bitcoin doing? Ooh, what's Bitcoin doing? Ooh, what's Bitcoin doing? The 2-hour pullback is what I was leaning towards. See the pullback for the retest. Now we go higher. Now we can pull back again. You have divergence on the R side, not on the MACD. So that would tell me maybe there is some kind of pullback that leads to another pop higher. I still think a price target of about 74K is possible according to the daily charts here. You're getting a cross up on the MACD, so I'm just thinking there might be some follow-through move and then that fades. But this technically here, if this just goes like this, rolls back down, you have divergence on Bitcoin. It's just not in overbought territory, which is kind of strange. Ethereum, yeah, Ethereum this could be a handle. You could just pull back, curl back up. The craziness can continue. But if these signals are going to mean anything, then XLU rotating back down is not a good sign. But usually the last 2 to 3 times it's made a divergence. So you're seeing it buy back up here. SPY might just want to keep squeezing. Qs are outside of its weekly expected move. All right. So this is where crazy things can happen. They could just go boom, like that. So I want to be paying attention to volatility, right? That faded 15-minute curled down. Okay. Does that cross? Then I have to say, okay, I have to take a loss for a second, but maybe I'm not wrong. Maybe I'm wrong just in the timing of it. Maybe I'm not wrong, and maybe volatility is going to curl up, but maybe I'm just a little bit off with the timing. Maybe this is going to curl down like this. Maybe it's going to cross over, and then I get out, and then I see it cross back up, and I get right back in, and I just go, okay, at least I managed that risk just in case volatility went like that. Just in case. Very good. Very good. This is all risk management. Dow Jones flipping negative here. 2-hour, not looking the best to look at. 30-minute divergences across the R side. This could just be a pullback. IWM finally seeing that bounce. Triple divergence here for the MACD and the RSI same time. So IWM actually saying, hey, buy me please, to me, but this is what I'm paying attention to for the SPY. 15-minute divergence. Actually, let's see if that pops up on the Qs. It doesn't. It pops up on the Qs for the RSI, but not necessarily the MACD at the same time. But for the SPY, it's saying, hey, I can experience weakness at any moment. I think they're just waiting for that PCC. People are being smart. People are being smart. So if they rug pull this market now, people will make money. They won't make as much on premiums. Yes. Yes. Next level, yes. So the explanation is the market makers, the short sellers, are using NVIDIA to pump higher, to then make money, to then force GME and AMC down. Have GME and AMC exploded higher in some massive move? No, they haven't. There's no massive move here, right? A massive move is a massive move, right? This is not a massive move. This is just regular behavior. This is within what the options market wants. This is good for the options market. This is good for the market maker, right? So this tells me, because NVIDIA also isn't selling off and I'm not seeing these pump, that this isn't the moment for AMC and GME. Now, it doesn't mean it has to be all done right now, but what am I noticing here? There's divergence across the way here for some kind of double top for AMC. Okay? They want people to give up on AMC and GME and buy calls in NVIDIA. The big problem here is a lot of people are buying puts. It's not the moment yet. Does that make sense? Next level? Let's see. Bitcoin. Well, there's stuff like Mara, mining stuff, but a lot of those things will suffer. It's a time to just be cautious. I'm not going to buy Bitcoin at this level. I think eventually you'll be able to buy Bitcoin for like $13,000 again. And that's a crazy take, but if it happened, that's where I would buy it. Pretty much if Bitcoin curls over on a monthly MACD and curls back up. Yeah, next level. I'm glad you responded. Thank you. I'm glad. I hope that was understandable. So all you need to know is this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to convince you to keep taking calls on NVIDIA before the split too. They're using the split as that narrative, and they're pumping things like AMD and things like that as well. Dang, I should have stayed in that move. I could have made like 200% maybe 100%. Awesome. Dollar, we should look at the dollar. Dollar still holding at higher levels. Dollar still holding at higher levels. The daily needs to curl up here for the dollar. Once that happens, you can still see this difference for some time. The stock market can go higher while the dollar goes up. It happened over here a lot, right? This is when we saw a boom in the stock market, but you notice the dollar went higher. That can happen again. We can see the stock market go higher, and that's what we're going to pay attention to. That will tell us that the insiders are really selling. This is insider selling. Why do we know that? The SPY is green and the dollar is very green. The dollar is as green as the SPY right now. That is some insider selling. The dollar is less green than the Qs right now. That is some insider selling. We just need to pay attention to the signal so we know the moment. The 30-minute hasn't even crossed over yet, but we're getting outside of that options market, right? We're getting outside of that. We're getting one of those 32% chances. This is what we talked about in the video yesterday. Up here, you got to be a little worried because you have a 68% chance to land here by the end of the day and a 68% chance to land here by the end of the Friday close. MGNI, we can look at that real quick. I've been watching you and your channel since last week, so I'm paying attention to all your opinions. Awesome, next level. Keep asking questions. Keep asking questions. If you're here to learn, I respect the hell out of you. Let me see. You've asked about this one a few times. Ooh, okay. 2 hour. Yeah, so you see the 2 hour triple divergence forming here. Now, this is multiple point on the RSI, so it might not be like the weakest thing in the world, but this is a reversal signal, okay? This is a contrarian reversal signal if this confirms. If this confirms and crosses down, this was that signal as well, right? This is that signal as well. It said there's potential for a reversal in trend. And then your 30-minute curls up and it goes, no, not yet. And then right here it says there's potential for reversal in trend if this crosses over. And then you just want to see if that actually goes negative. You want to see if this daily is able to roll back over. That would be very telling if this daily could roll back over, but that could just be a pullback. You always want to be open to the other scenario. You never want to just be like, oh, this has to plummet into the ground. There will be bounces along the way, and we just have to pay attention to the signals. Would closing GME call options make the stock go higher? Exercising a call option would make the stock go higher. So exercising the option says that you are going to buy the shares that are within the contract, which would mean you buy the shares. I made 2K on SPY calls this morning, and I'm all put right now. I guess I'll just have to be patient now. Hey, that's fine. Manage that risk. Do what you got to do. The Qs look like they could suffer a little more because they're outside of that range, but they're being squeezed. They're being squeezed. So SPY might be the move. It does have a 15-minute divergence. Still has it. Still has it. And it's going to creep. Now look at the put call ratio. Look at the put call ratio. People are giving up. People are giving up. Can you please share MACD parameters? Yeah, I use the basic one. Someone told me, yeah, you use the basic one, but I always just thought 9 smoothing was not basic, but I'm apparently a basic biatch. Now, 12, 26, 9 smoothing. This is important to understand. And then at the close, this is important to understand the 9 smoothing because I use a 5-day moving average. But when volatility is higher, I use a 9-day moving average. So when the MACD crosses, the price will be above a 9-day moving average. Daily MACD crossing downward, that can happen today. That can happen in the next few days. What we notice here was a big move came for AMD. This is the one I almost posted. I was in this for a split second. I made a quick like 20 or 30% and I got out because I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I just want to scalp a little bit. I just want to take a little tiny trade, make some money and be out. Now that is going positive. So you really want to pay attention. Is this 2-hour curling up? If this 2-hour curls up, that could mean more positivity. Pay attention to that weekly expected move over on Patreon. Okay, because up in this area, you can make a bunch of divergences up here, a bunch of multiple point divergences. We talked about it in last night's YouTube video. The 30-minute, you don't want this thing to roll down. Just going to tell you right now, you do not want this 30 minutes to roll back down because I don't think that'll be good. I think this will be some kind of trap. 15-minute if that goes negative, right? So that's what I think about with AMD. If you roll over the 30-minute, right? If you roll over the 30-minute, you're most likely going to actually roll over this daily, and it is very close to going negative. Another trade that looks good as of right now, right? AMD looks like, hey, that could form for a while. Meta looks great. Look at this. Meta looks great. Look at that. That is so good. Multiple point divergence, triple divergence. If this thing curls over on the 2-hour, looks solid. 30-minute, you don't necessarily have the best divergences here. So I would look into a little bit deeper. Okay, 15-minute, you got that there. There's your 15-minute signal that the 2-hour could roll over. 2-hour confirms the divergences. Well, that would be very, very bad because this looks ugly. Look at that. It's flashing positive, just like we were saying all week. I think Meta flashes positive and then gives it up. But right now it's flashing positive, but that weekly expected move is there. And what are we noticing about PCC? Look at that. It is dropping off. I told you this is what they're waiting for. This is what they're waiting for. They need the puts to be cheaper for them to make money. Now, if we're calling this right, then when those calls keep trickling in, the SPY most likely will hit this daily expected move or get in this little area here, and then that'll sell off, and we'll see the Qs are already there. And they're most likely going to sell off from here, right? This is a probabilities thing. This isn't me. I'm just telling you the probabilities, but really what's telling you that is this purple line. This purple line says there is a 68% chance for this to land down here. This red line is saying the Qs have a 68% chance to land right down there by the end of the day. Yeah, Meta looks like some downside potential. Meta looks like some downside potential. I think if you roll over this 15 and that goes negative, you could still see something wonky, right? Pay attention to risk management, very important. But if that can go negative and then we curl over this 2-hour, I think the daily is gone. I think Meta sees some big negativity unless they're going to trick us. We are always open to the other scenario. Hugh Wynn, thank you so much for the $1.99 donation. Thank you. First super on the live stream. Come on, guys. Get up for, I hope I'm saying your name right, but Mr. Wynn, give it up for him. Thank you so much for the $1.99. Really appreciate it. I think I've learned more here in 2 weeks than in 4 years of Discords and classes. Awesome. If you've learned a lot here, you'll probably learn a lot faster on the course, but welcome to just stay around. If you think you're learning quickly, that's awesome. That's what this channel is for. The video goes 47 or below. 47 or below. Sorry, next level. Can you repeat that question? Maybe phrase it a little differently. I kind of lost track of thought there. Could you check out VHAI? VHAI. I have to type everything. I want to minimize the stocks that I'm looking at here. Oh my God. What the hell is this? The only thing I see here is this is terrible, and if that crosses over on a daily, you're in a negative trend, man. So that just looks like hell. Sorry to say it, it just looks a little bit like hell. I got to give you my honest opinion. I'm not going to sugarcoat things to make you feel good. That looks very bad. Now, that is something that on the fundamental side, maybe you could look at if you know more about the stock. It's your money, you understand it better. But me, technical side, it just doesn't look like something I would look at. Lucy is down 10%. We talked about how these smaller ones, and Horace, thank you so much. 99 cents. We'll take the dollar. We like a dollar. We like a dollar. It gets us one step closer to buying that cup of coffee. We love coffee around here. I might go get another cup of coffee. Yeah, penny stocks is just, if you want to make money in the market, look at a stock that you use every single day. And thank you so much, Grant Cooper, for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Thank you again, Horse, for the donation and the little emoji. Lucy, we were talking about this on the 5-minute scale. Now, this is something very important. Lucy is bundling up, right? It's bundling up. Some kind of move could happen, but we need a bigger time frame to confirm that. Right now, the 30-minute is curling down. What's it forming, though? It's forming a divergence. Now, when AMC and GME pop, a lot of these type of things might go away. A lot of these things might go away, guys. Be very cautious with this. Just know that the real play right now that everyone most likely will buy into, if it happens, is going to be AMC and GME. It's the two top dogs. Love Lulu here. See, see, you're the tactical Ted. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. If you're looking at it from just a support and investment level and you know more about the stock than I do, I'm just talking about it on technicals. You spoke about percentage NVIDIA 47.2 if it goes to 0.47 below NVIDIA. Are you saying I'm expecting like a 40% drop in the next 1 to 5 years? Is that what you're saying, next level? Are you saying I'm expecting the 40% drop? $10 just Zoom. Thank you so much for well, thank you for the donation. #1 fan. So the reason that I'm thinking it's going to see a massive drop and going to end at lower levels is just because of, one, support, and two, because I don't like how the monthly is going to cross over. Now, I don't think it's over for NVIDIA. I don't think this is a bad company overall. They're just manipulating the stock. So what I'm saying is by the time this on the monthly scale pulls all the way down to here and is able to curl back up, I expect it to get somewhere in this area. That's all I'm saying about NVIDIA. That can take a lot of time to happen. Don't think that that happens in one shot. And the reason that that could turn over right now is because you have weekly divergence. You have weekly divergence, kind of flat now, but the week is not over, right? Week isn't over, but kind of flat right now. But the weekly here would say, as an investor, do I want to do something here? Also, like Krispy Kreme, now that in the 10 range partnership with, wait, Krispy Kreme and McDonald's got together. Holy crap. I didn't think the US could get more obese. Also, I love Krispy Kreme. Okay, wait, no, that's not right. I love donuts that are more not as glazy. What the hell are they? Someone say another donut shop that's popular around the country. Even I don't mind Dunkin'. Now, earlier you were looking at puts and calls earlier, and you said it was currently at 0.47. If it goes to 0.47, it will look bad. Oh, you're talking about Max Payne. So Max Payne, I'm saying it's at 0.72 for Friday. So if it goes below 0.7, then technically puts on the stock will be very cheap for Friday's expiration. But they could, if they're the one, if the market makers have 1200, they could push it past 1200 and then rip it away on Friday, right? They could let those options expire and maybe you don't see that drop till next week. But as of right now, you have a 0.72 put to call ratio as of this morning for NVIDIA. And if that goes below 0.7, that means that, hey, puts are very cheap. Everyone wants calls for NVIDIA. They're just trying to bait in as many people as possible. That's what it seems like to me. I gotta remember my camera's on and I can't be picking my nose on stream. I'm sorry, guys. All right, the most important signal for NVIDIA is this one here confirming. Hey, we're getting a lot of subs here. We're getting a lot of subs and stuff. Let me say hi. Dishum, thank you again for the $10. It means a lot. Everyone clap. Big hands. Dishum, big hands. Dunkin' dry ass donuts. Still love it. I don't know what C3 AI is, but it sounds like some kind of thing from Star Wars. I'm gonna look at it because it sounds like something from Star Wars. No, no stocks. I'm gonna look at stocks that are on the New York Stock Exchange, most likely. You know, the New York Stock Exchange, very trusted market that apparently has glitches. Market is going to shit itself soon at the rate cuts come per history. Yeah, but sometimes it can take 6 to 8 months. Don't expect it to go down in one shot, but yeah. I think it's just right now you're seeing all this happen. AMC and GME, weirdly enough, AMC and GME could cause deflation. It could actually solve the inflation problem. AMC and GME could solve the the fact that a lot of the wealth is going to the 1% and the poor is getting poorer and the middle class is becoming the poor class. So it could solve a lot of those issues as long as, enough of the retail is in it. Star Wars series is woke garbage, by the way. What I haven't seen what's the new Star. I started to watch it in order, and I think I was watching The Mandalorian, and I made it like halfway through, and then I stopped. Oh, listed as AI. Ooh, this might be real. There you go. Sorry, I typed a C3 AI, but okay, curling up, positive territory for 30 minutes. You can see an upward move. Let me look on a daily though. What kind of company is this? I mean, obviously it's probably AI, but packaged software. Okay, software. So it will still suffer if NVIDIA suffers. That's important to understand. 2 hour, you do have a curling over. So if there is positivity in the stock, we don't have to say everything crashes down, right? We could say this comes close to the center line, then it would be a good, yeah, right? Then you'd have maybe a reason to take it. As of right now, it looks like you're going to get a pullback. You have a bunch of little divergences in here, right? You see the little tiny divergences on the RSI here that are saying, hey, I might pull back, but you're crossing up now. If that reverses back down, you're right by negative territory with the divergence on the MACD and the RSI at the same time. I hope that was helpful. Is that crowd work? Crowd strike? Ooh, pop, good pop. You had 15-minute divergences, very good 15-minute divergences here. When they're really close to the center line, I pay attention to them. The problem with this now is the 30-minute did turn up, but now you have the chance for that to just fail. 2 hour here did curl up. So 2 hours saying, hey, we could be a contrarian bull, but that's just a big move. I think that's going to need to, at least on the 15-minute, curl down to the center line, curl back up. It just means this is potentially a good move. But you want to make sure the next move is good because is this the best place to buy? That's overall what you have to say. And you're kind of overbought. This isn't NVIDIA. It's not going to scream higher forever, most likely. But if that pulled back and pulled back up, you want to wait for the trade setup to be very, very simple. How long until NVIDIA 1300? I don't think it gets there, at least not this week. According to the Max Payne, NVIDIA will not get to 1300 this week, unless it's just like rigged to the upside. Most likely, just slightly above 1200 is as high as it gets. You have a huge call wall at 1200. AMC and GME, 15-minute hasn't rolled over. That's a good sign. 30-minute crossed up. It's a good sign. You just have a little divergence here. That's a problem. GME crossed up, not seeing as much strength. But it is holding above that weekly expected move. That's important. Crazy things can happen up there. All right, guys, I'm going to go to the restroom real quick. I'm going to go to the restroom real quick. I'm going to leave you guys. Actually, I'm going to leave you on the SPY because we want to see if that's going to test that level. PCC, look at it. It's starting to drop. This is what they want. Right when everyone starts to say, oh, I give up, it's bullish, okay, they can rip it away. So let's just pay attention here. 15-minute crosses over. Good chance we're going to go down towards the daily expected move downside by the end of the day. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes, guys. I just got to, holy crud, I got to see. I'll be right back. Okay. Bringing up the baby monitor. 2 more seconds. Who said something about fried chicken? Are we going to hear frying chicken in the channel? That's so funny. Someone said that because we're frying up bacon right now. I was like, how the hell do they know that I thought you guys were creepy. I was like, do they have a camera in my house? All right. Jason, AMC having trouble going above $5. Yeah. But this is the moment we need to pay attention. SPY gets up here. Okay. PCC is going lower. If that can cross 0.8, that would be huge. We're noticing the dollar still holding at higher levels, still holding at higher levels. HYG holding up a little bit there, but volatility dropping off, maybe going to create, I haven't had to get risk managed on this yet. Very important how to do it yet. SPY, I think we really want to pay attention to the SPY. Yes, you can go look at AMC and GME. Just know these are curled up on the 30-minute. Very good. If the 15-minute curls back down, that's not going to be good. The 5-minute is still positive, saying pullback. Let's see if you can get above 518. That's the important level. This is our weekly expected move, guys. This is exactly what we talk about every single week on this channel. If you're new here, weekly expected moves is a tool we use. I calculate them. I give them out on Patreon. So AMC, technically, this is like 1 cent off of the weekly expected move. It's just the support that or the resistance I found. And it happens to be where the weekly expected move is to the upside. You see crazy stuff happen outside of that. Just know the options market, the market makers do not want to close above this level by Friday. They really don't want to. So you can see something wild happen if you start getting above this level. SPY. Oh, look at that divergence on the RSI. It looks so tight in here. Oh, it's just barely up on the 5-minute there, but looks pretty good on the 5-minute. 15-minute looks the best. What's the Qs doing? Screaming higher, screaming higher, screaming higher. Buy those calls. That's what the market makers saying. They're like, do the calls, do the calls. What I think of Salesforce. Sorry, that's my old man dog. He barks randomly sometimes. I gotta tell him to shut up. I was just like, be quiet. All right, Salesforce, so CRM, 2 hour. First of all, just we, people coming in saying, yeah, this is gonna bounce. Yeah, it's gonna get a dead cat bounce, but does that mean a good reason to take the trade? Not necessarily, right? So the 30-minute is positive. You need to remain positive to see that positivity. That's note number one on the bullish side. The bearish side is probably an hourly. You're seeing it very close to the center line. And then if that crosses down, you can test this low, you can go make a new one. Now, the important thing here is it can see a bigger bounce in the future if it's able to not keep this selling algorithm, right? If it's able to just hold up a little better and you see tapering, that's where you can really pay attention. So I would look for some kind of 2-hour divergence before I get into anything with this. This is a dramatic drop off. It's very scary to try to trade something like that. There's just better setups. Apple starting to fade the move. That just curls over. Great setup. Not necessarily Tesla AMD. If this just fades the move on a 30-minute, right? Fades the move, crosses over, boom, breaks through. Weekly expected move below you. Meta, great move here. Little divergence on the 15-minute, right? Okay, if that crosses over, we can go negative. Why is that so good? Well, I have triple divergence on the 2-hour. I got multiple point divergence and triple divergence at the same time. I'm hitting a weekly expected move. Meta looks like some big weakness. If that daily rolls over, remember that's going negative. Microsoft, let's take a look at it. It's starting to scream a little bit higher. 30-minute, it's positive. So if this just rolls negative, that could be game over. Google, you notice that's starting to roll over. The good part about Google was you had divergences up here that gave you the trade setup. It wasn't able to confirm again, gave you the trade setup. Now you could say, oh, that curled up. Let me just manage my risk. Big bounce. Okay, does the 30-minute cross back down into negative territory? That's what I'm paying attention to. Kunik, I hope that was helpful. Would it be dumb to hold June 21st calls on AMC? They were purchased last month. So I can't really tell you whether to buy, sell, or hold. I can tell you that we've been saying don't use an amount of money that would hurt you for those type of plays because time is not your friend. Time is not your friend. So it depends. If the money would hurt you, and there's a chunk of money that you want to take out in case that really doesn't happen because time is not your friend, then that is a decision you would have to make, right? It's kind of like if I risked $60,000 and I go, ooh, okay, if I lose $40,000, that's really going to hurt me. I've already lost $5,000. Let me just do $15,000 in this crazy play because that wouldn't hurt me as bad. And then I have my 40,000, right? That's kind of how I would think about it. As of right now, I have money risked right now in AMC and GME, but it's not something that'll beat me up. It's not something that'll beat me up. I am someone who makes money the slow way. This is technically this is a get rich quick, right? But if I pay attention to the signals, it could play out and the risk to reward is there. So Tony, I'm sorry, I can't really like, okay, I haven't made breakfast, but bacon and waffles, hell yeah. So yeah, Tony, you just got to think of it that way. Think of the risk to reward. You got to think your risk on June 21st, if nothing happens, is you lose all that you put in. So that's why you don't necessarily want to put in more than you're willing to lose when it's something that is rigged like AMC, GME, or even NVIDIA. That's why NVIDIA, I'm like, I'm seeing good trade setups. Let me be a good trader and make money. You know, I trade Apple all the damn time. I'm very familiar with how Apple behaves. And so I know that if Apple sees a drop here, it still can go higher. It can do this. It touches into this zone that it bursted out of, right? It came out of that zone, went back in it, came out of it, went back in it, came out of it. There are buyers in this zone. So if I see a big drop like this, I want to make sure that 30 minutes not curling back up, because if that 30-minute curls up, we could do this, make another point of divergence that's maybe more clear on the 30-minute. Now the 2-hour, different story. The 2-hour, little different story here, right? That looks pretty good. I want to make sure that that goes negative if I'm going to see a big move. They're already in slight profit. Okay, if they're already in slight profit, awesome. If an amount of money you had originally would have hurt you, now you can minimize that risk. That's what that would tell me. It's like, hey, I need to minimize this risk. That's what it seems like to me. Did that go through? All right, we're good. AMC bid is big. Do you trade options on Apple or the stock? I've mainly just traded options on Apple. I don't think I've bought the stock in a long, long time. So when I was a swing trader, when I was swing trading the most, I'm still a swing trader. I take swing trades. It was more in this area. So back here, like 2020, around this level, September, I just swing trade, right? So swing trade, I just would buy down in these areas right at this crossing here, and then I would say, okay, ride that up. And then if I'd hit top Bollinger, I would sell most of the time. Okay, it comes to bottom Bollinger. I didn't think there was some crash coming, so I just kept buying and selling around these levels with my swing trading above these center lines, above the 200. Swing trade, swing trade, swing trade. This is when I more buy the stock. Swing trading, I kind of like to buy the stock. It makes trading very chill. It makes trading very chill. And then swing trading as well on, you guys want a good thing to swing trade. Look at this guy. This is Nail. I love trading this. Okay. I love trading this. I got to think of the last time I traded it. Was that 2020? I traded it a little bit here. You'll see big run-ups in this. And I think I did weeklies because I wasn't paying as close of attention to the stock. You see some of my stuff here, but so down in this area, like this is when I paid attention to Nail after 2020. If you want to see something that can multiply very quickly and you just hold the stock, okay, look at this. 2020, you could have bought this for $32 and buy that top up here in 2021, 237% in about a year. And then if you held a little bit longer, 286% in 2 years. I like to swing trade this on the weekly. You just see a little crossing up. You see the little divergence between these points, the rejection divergence, boom, buy, big run up. I love this one. Investment wise, That's one you could trade back and forth on a weekly chart, and it's nice. NVIDIA most likely will fail around that 1200 number, and I think it will happen very soon. Oh, wait, who did something? Jay Brazaban Cruz, thank you so much for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Just know they need this PCC to get a little bit lower, but they really could do it at any time now. They could do this at any time now. NVIDIA. Everyone wants it to go above 1200. They're using it as bait, and then they're going to maybe push it above there, get some more calls in, bam. Or maybe they just stack it right at 1200, right at 1200, right at 1200, and then boom, that thing rips away. We'll see. SPY plays, yeah, SPY is the 15-minute divergence here on the MACD and RSI at the same time, going across the way. A few fake outs along the way, you're at the daily expected move. So you can go higher. You can go higher as long as this PCC isn't going down below 0.8. I think they do maybe send it higher, but the dollar is remaining higher. So you know the insiders are not, they're selling in this area. They've been selling throughout they sold before the open on this big gap up. They sold before the open. Kalani, $1,000 on futures. Hey, so many sell orders at the 1200. See, like, if people try to short NVIDIA, they keep. Are you saying they're trying to short it? I'm sorry. QQQ today, similar thing. It's just it doesn't have the best 15-minute divergence here. But the thing that you have to read into with QQQ is this is happening because NVIDIA and now AMD starting to pump. Other stuff is starting to pump for the Qs. But it's setting up something big for the 2-hour. If this 2-hour can roll back over, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign, but maybe you're able to make this divergence right here. The only problem with making the divergence right now is that means XLU might not be able to turn up and make it at the same time, but maybe it's different this time. Maybe it's a rejection for XLU while the SPY tries to test those all-time highs. This is a difference right now between XLU and the SPY, right? Let's see if I can do this real quick. Okay, so this is what we were following. This is why we were able to catch that trap. Okay, we started saying this is a big trap. This is a big trap. It fell down. I still said this is a big trap. Look, we caught back up. Okay, we see some weakness, but notice XLU dropped off further. This didn't really drop off that much. And really, this should have went higher first. This is first point. So right now, XLU is not testing this level, right? It's not going above that level. So that would tell me XLU is still pulling back. That means the SPY most likely will pull back here. Do you see the difference? We're heading higher while XLU heads lower. Right? When you side by side them, it's very clear side by side them. Jesus. AMC, strong. See you later, BK. I hope you have a good day. Get Luke's lessons, folks. Hey, I appreciate that. $100. We'll leave it because all this craziness is still happening. I finally put on there. I'm like, we're doing it for all of June. Anyone who comes in here and wants to learn about these things, especially if you end up getting, something ripped away from you because you get tricked. If you find this channel late, I sympathize with you. The course is $100. It is very, very good. It'll start to teach you how to not get screwed in these markets. 15-minute, and it's a good price. I mean, I've paid thousands of dollars for courses, and I think I barely use the info I learn now. My gut says Bulls will win. Well, they still could close it. They could squeeze it until Friday. So if the it depends on who has the contracts at 1200. If their friends have the contracts at 1200, well, what if they just rig it to short squeeze even higher, and then they pull it away next week once they bait retail in? I'll be picking it out after my money is out of the memes. Okay, awesome. Awesome, Robert. True, too. If you make a ton of money off of GME, AMC, or just a ton of money on the market, why not just become a daily trader or something? Like, go enjoy your life. The slow way, once you make a big chunk, the slow way will be just fine. The very slow way. I've learned a ton with the lessons. It's nice to have the info in one place. Yeah, and you can look at it as many times as you want. Damn, AM Dizzle. I know I was in this thing. It just keeps going. I scalped it on this push higher, right? I bought, sold, and then I was like, oh, this probably does move higher, but the environment, this is still a risk management move. The environment was the dollar going up while stocks go up. I don't like that. So I'm being risk managed. It's important. Apple, look at this guy, 15-minute, hasn't crossed over yet. What are we creating? Well, that next 5-minute divergence point, all right? Something bad can happen here. Where is Apple's weekly expected move? Are we testing that bad boy again? Hey, the new computer's working great. We're about to test that weekly expected move again for Apple. They can rig multiple stocks, so we just got to be a little careful. Ooh, volatility. Volatility not able to cross over on a 30. Right now, rejecting on a 15-minute. This could be the moment. It could happen any minute now. We just need to see this 15-minute crossover. Get some rejection. Remember, they can mess with it a lot. PCC going even lower now. Once it gets to point, if they can get it to 0.8, I think they do it. If they can get it to 0.8, but I wanted to show you volatility. Look, the 15-minute not able to cross over. It's rejecting it. I don't have to risk manage. It's rejecting it. Now that thing can go positive. And this 2-hour, oh crap. If that thing goes positive for a while, this 2-hour can roll up. I don't know why I'm saying it like this. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. 30-minute divergence is there, so that's why I think the 2-hour has potential to roll up here. Right? Dow Jones actually flashed positive. See what's going on with that. What's DJT doing? Nobody's asked about DJT today. Interessante. No asking about DJT, eh? Okay, 2-hour curls up. Positive territory is there, right? So if the 2-hour can curl up, but the 30-minute, you might make some divergence down here first. Yeah, you don't really have divergence, but you do have a higher low, but it looks kind of flaggy, doesn't it? Doesn't that look like just a chunk of a flag? So if this 30-minute builds up, maybe that does cross down, creates a divergence. Then I could say that 2-hour has good potential to turn up, but right now, not looking too pretty, okay? It's not looking too good unless this 2-hour is able to curl up for DJT. All right, TLT screaming higher. See, this also could just be a flight to safety now, too. I wonder if that's what's going on. Because we're seeing a lot of upward moves after getting a very high PMI. Oh, God. God, I want to stay live, but I really need to take care of baby girl today. Maybe I'll do a closing stream. I gotta give mom some help today. Because, one, it was my mom's birthday yesterday and I didn't get to see her. And then, two, my baby mama, she had to stay up all night last night with a sick baby. And yeah, so I gotta put family first today, but maybe I'll do a closing stream. Lulu, it just doesn't look like a trade setup, I think. Well, there's a little there's almost, it's like so close to being divergence for Lulu on a 15-minute. 30-minute crosses up, there's positivity to be had. But the 2-hour problem, there's a big 2-hour problem, okay? If this 2-hour rolls over, look how negative that would be. Now, you did get the tapering here, right? 15, 30-minute maybe divergence there. There's a 30-minute divergence. That was your sign, hey, let's go. It rolled up the 2-hour, but that was very far away from positive. So if you see this roll over, it means a bad move. The only problem with this, too, is with all of the analysis that I'm giving here, you have earnings. Earnings is a 50-50 flip, guys. Any technical, anything, any look here, it's still a 50-50 flip. You could get great earnings, get great projection for the future, and the stock market crashes because of ANC and GME. So I just wouldn't mess with earnings. It will trick you. And plus, you're seeing a lot of signals that say, hey, the SPY could be double topping. Now, this could be a different scenario, right? How could we get screwed? Well, what if we wanted to create this? Big left, maybe we get some kind of right shoulder. Here's the head, boom, boom, boom. We head higher. Could happen. Did I just delete my line? Okay, there we go. XLU still crossed over. If that crosses back up, maybe, but that 30 minutes negative. So good likelihood to test low, go make a new one. We'll see. Obed Rubio, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. Is that that's a leveraged one, right? So that's semiconductors. So really, I would just do analysis on some kind of semiconductor ETF. What are we noticing here? Well, 2 hour getting pretty cooked. I got a divergence that could form up here. So there's probably at least some kind of pullback coming, right? If I see the 30 minutes, still up there in positive, but it's overbought. So if I wanted to get in on this, I'd at least need to see the handle for the cup and handle. But you got to be a little careful with all this. With the SOX L is the bullish one. Yeah. So I would more look like this one probably has more potential to pop right now than the other one, but you can't really do analysis on it. You just want to follow maybe SMH and do some kind of analysis there. The daily side, you have divergence up at these highs. So it's just a time to be like, yeah, if I was going long on anything, it probably would not be with this kind of look. And you even have a divergence in this little double top price action. So wow, new highs today. I thought market was going to roll. Yeah, and it technically I think it should be. The dollar is saying insiders are selling. The only problem was, remember, the put call ratio. It's all about the market makers right now. It's not always like this, but right now it's really about the market makers. And usually they don't rig it this hard. It's just very obvious these days. So the reason the market wasn't selling off was because retail was being smart. They had all the puts. At least that's what it seems like to me. So calls were cheaper. So they forced the market to go up until retail gives up and then buys a bunch of calls. And right when retail buys all the calls down here towards 0.8, we might see a rug pull. So they might just leave it flat for a little while, let it kind of keep reacting around here. And then once that actually goes to 0.8, I think it's rug pulled. If it doesn't go to 0.8 and they buy puts again, they can push it up to the weekly expected move. Keys are already there, so yes. Very, very good point, Q. Yes, exactly. Actually, you're pretty spot on with that. But the yields are dropping off. The only problem with the yields dropping off is technically a high PMI would justify higher yields. So it is just interesting to see that behavior. But we could be seeing some kind of flight to safety from TLT. And I'm kind of worried we might uninvert these yields. Uber. Oh my God. Yeah, let's go look at Uber. And then I got to give a breakdown and hop off. I got to go spend time with the fam, guys. I really appreciate you guys being here. I might do a closing stream, so turn those notifications on. Make sure you are subscribed with notifications on because I don't do a lot of closing streams and it's not a guarantee because my baby girl was sick yesterday and yesterday was also, or actually she's still sick right now. And yesterday was my mom's birthday, so I have a lot of shit to do today. But I'm going to try. I'm going to really, really try because we could be seeing something bad in the next like 20 minutes, literally. But I just have to hop off. Divergence here, very good. This was a great divergence here for Uber. This was a 2 hour. We see the divergences here telling you yes. Okay, big move up. Was the daily able to cross? Yes, it was. It has divergences there as well. I kind of expect a reaction to the 50, but with the environment right now, I'd be very careful with any stock. I had to yell at old man again. I think the dollar is dropping because Canada and EU are cutting rates. If they're cutting rates, you got to wonder why. And banks are in a lot of trouble right now. 63 banks in a lot of trouble right now. So the thing with the dollar I need you to understand is pay attention to what happened before. The dollar is going higher. The dollar is not dropping right now because of what you're saying. That info was given today. The dollar is going up while the market is going up. That is a sign of insider selling. Okay, I just want to be very clear with that. Let's be very clear. That can continue. We can still go higher. It doesn't mean it has to go down. We've seen times where the dollar goes up for weeks and the SPY goes up for weeks. We just want to pay attention to the signals in front of us. Could we confirm a daily divergence? Yes, we could. But right now, this 15-minute is approaching that daily expected move, and you got a lot of time left in the day. And slowly but surely, this put call ratio is going lower. So if that put call ratio can keep going down, that means puts are going to be cheap and the market maker might flip it. Yeah, so the reason that I'm worried is because we just got a high P services reading, yet the yields are dropping. TLT is going up. That could be a flight to safety. JPD's nuts. Thank you for joining the channel. Really appreciate you. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking, doing all that good stuff. Let's try to do a quick little breakdown, okay? The most important thing on each chart. Try to pay attention to the most important thing on each chart, all right? Pay attention to any time frame that we've gone over today, but right now you want to see if this 15-minute rolls over at any time for the SPY, not good news. Now, why is that important? Well, because XLU is down, the SPY is up. That is a difference that we paid attention to here, and it helped us, right? The SPY caught back up. Okay, so pay attention to XLU. It could just be different this time. It doesn't have to make the divergence for some kind of crash. Now, I think it still will, and I think we're going to see a few more traps. But for now, if this 15-minute curls over, expect weakness. Now, with the Qs, they don't have that 15-minute divergence really, but this thing is screaming higher because of NVIDIA, AMD, other stocks, Apple. And what are we noticing here? Well, up here, the most important thing is 68% chance to land down here by end of day, 68% chance to land here by the end of Friday close. So one of the most important things for the Qs to pay attention to is we're making the 2-hour divergence right now. If that 2-hour rolls over, you guys, that's bad. I'm just going to tell you right now, that's bad. Now, what we want to pay attention to is the opposite direction. If that does roll over, we see something dramatic. Trend line. What if we create a divergence here? We have to be open to these scenarios, guys. We have to be open to it. We can't get too excited. So Apple, what are you noticing? Well, we are starting to make a big divergence across the way. If 2-hour rotates over, well, do I see weakness in the shorter time frames? And look at this. I see a divergence, big divergences here, okay? Now, this is kind of a wonky one. So if you want it to be more clear, I would assume a 15-minute would be more clear. Look at that. You have the divergence from the main point, tons of multiple point divergence here. If that rolls and goes negative, you very well could roll over this 2-hour chart and that could go negative. So be careful. This doesn't mean it has to go down all at once. We know that the market is made to rig it so you guys lose money. If that curls down, curls back up, okay, maybe we see a divergence like this. That would be a great opportunity for Apple. This is one that I am in as of right now. I'm waiting for my next scale in, which is going to be when this 30-minute flashes red again. Tesla, the most wonky stock. People saying Tesla is going down. And I get it, it is going down. But this is where we said they've created so many traps with Tesla around these areas that we need to pay attention, because this here is a trap and now it's pulling back up. So just expect some weird behavior like this. Don't think everything has to go down at once. They're going to manipulate multiple things. The market makers are trying to make as much money as possible to pay for AMC and GME. They are screwed. They need to buy shares and they can't buy shares, which is hilarious. So it's going to be tough. BlackBerry, be careful, Brock. Be careful with the other short seller plays, just because the main ones are the important ones. Now we can look at BlackBerry maybe later today, but as of right now, AMC and GME are the important ones. If those pop off, you could see all the other ones die. The ones with the most things that you can put your money into that helps Trump, because he does need our help to pay the deficit back. That's very true. We do need help paying that deficit back. Amazon, it's squeezing, right? This is a squeeze. It is a very wonky looking thing. There's no good price action in it. That is a squeeze. They're probably stealing money from people on Amazon as they tried to short at these lows. We talked about it, 2-hour divergences. Really just got to pay attention to when these 2 hours start to roll over, because sure, you can head down, see some kind of better bounce in the future, right? Some kind of divergence down here. But until that happens, you have to say, if this rolls over at any time, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. Now, was the daily able to roll up so we can talk about more positivity for Amazon? Not yet. If that happens, we can go make some kind of lower high. I had to think about it. Lower high, that would make some sense here. I think a lower high is very possible. Seeing that pop up for a second and pop right back down. NVIDIA, right? We're talking about, we already looked up the max pain. We knew 1200 was the level. We knew 1200 was the level. And what are they doing? They're keeping it there. They're using 1200 as bait. They're using it as bait. They're using it as bait. Eventually that will be ripped away. Okay, they're trying to get as many people to try to short the stock right now and then give up and buy calls. Once people give up and buy calls, this thing is going to rug pull. The main signal to pay attention to, 2-hour chart, when that curls over. If you want to get a little tighter, hourly chart, when that curls over, look how close you're already going negative. Big divergence across the way. It does not look pretty for NVIDIA. Doesn't mean it can't be manipulated further, right? This could cross down, cross back up, get a double top. We see something like this, and we get another point here on an hourly chart. Just pay attention how you can get screwed. If you need to know how to figure out how you can stop getting screwed in this market, take the course. It's $100. We're going to leave it for all of June. All of June, okay? AMD, this one was able to curl up, but not on the 2-hour. There it is. Now it is. So this bar is going to be important. Remember, we were saying in the video last night, multiple point divergence over here, okay? If it goes higher, multiple point divergence is there. We can look at a weekly expected move. All of this stuff is what we want to be paying attention to. As of right now, I think the important thing is the 30-minute crossing back down. If that just crosses back down, it might be game over, because if that crosses back down, we cut this low, the daily can roll over, and that's going to be ugly. You're rejecting right now. Very important. But if that rolls over, it's not going to be pretty for AMD over the next month. They can still rig it, make funky things happen, right? But if we're being risk managed, we will end up in the big move down from here. Meta, this one too. Look at that one, right by the center line. This is a great trade setup. It's probably the best one out of all the wonky stocks. Looking at the 2-hour across, you just see all these points of divergences now. You have multiple point divergence and triple divergence across all of this right here. So the important thing here is going to be the 15-minute curling over right here. If the 15-minute can curl over and actually go negative, that means that that 2-hour can actually curl over. You've kind of built up a lot. Now, in this case, I'm talking about a 15, so you got to be tight with it in case they try to fool you, right? And then they make another thing right here, make it more clear. So we're just paying attention to risk, but 2-hour looks like it wants to roll over. That can roll over the daily chart. Microsoft looks like we're starting to form a lower high, but this is where we could cup and handle, right? We got a little bundle in there, so we could cup and handle. So a 30-minute looks like it might be a little bit overbought. So if that turns down, yeah, you're negative. You can see that drop. But if that turns down, turns right back up, positivity could be there. This could be some kind of handle. Google screaming higher, 30-minute overcooked. So if this is going to go higher, I suspect it does something like this. You see the line in the sand, okay, left head, right shoulder. Look how fast we can do it, you know. I've been doing this for a long time. So what am I paying attention to? 2-hour curling up. If the 2-hour can curl up and go positive, we could test these highs. We can go make a new one. Something very interesting that could happen if it sees a few days of positivity is you get another divergence point at these highs. That would be very, very telling. AMC on the daily chart here, I'm trying to move pretty fast. It is still positive. You are correct to say that the daily chart is bullish. It is. If you are bearish on this, you are a contrarian because you're in positive territory. We're making that very, very clear. Now, the most important part of this is going to be how the 2 hours going positive. You do not want that to roll over. You do not want the 2-hour to roll over. That is fact number one to the downside. To the upside, you need this 30-minute to remain up, and you need to cross above 518. You already curled up. That's telling you that the momentum is positive right now. It hasn't shifted back down. You're in positive territory. Sure, you have some little divergence here, so be careful if this goes negative. It could go dramatically down. They're trying to make a lot of money today, probably to force these down. So we need this to get above 518. It needs to close above 518. That would be huge. GameStop is actually doing better, I think, at fighting against the short sellers because it is above 2903. 2903 is where crazy shit can happen for GME. What are we noticing here? Well, cup handle, maybe. But the big part is the 30-minute is positive in positive territory. So this is where you can see something crazy happen. If that rolls over, though, it's not the moment. You got to be patient, see that thing curl back up, then that could be the next one. So we're still paying attention to a lot of things in this market. A little bit worried about these yields dropping off further. A higher PMI points towards more inflation, points towards more growth, okay? So the fact that these yields are dropping off doesn't really make sense. So I'm really, really worried now that this is some kind of flight to safety for TLT. Crossing up positive territory. Look at that. This could be flight to safety. You could be experiencing the beginnings of some kind of crash in the market. The next thing you look at is the dollar. The dollar is higher. What are most stocks? They're all higher. That is telling you there's insider selling going on right now. That can continue for a little bit of time. Whew. 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 And it could. Spike could go to 550. It would make sense, but you would need to maybe pull back here and then go higher over time, right? You would need to go higher over time. Or This is just going to be some kind of mega squeeze to screw a lot of people out, convince them the market can't go down right when they're convinced it drops. But as of right now, what are you doing? You're violating this. If we don't confirm on the 15-minute, they're not going to sell this thing off. It just means that more people are probably trying to short the market. The PCC is not going down fast enough. If this was going down like we did the other day, yesterday, Monday, then we most likely would see that sell off. But remember, the dollar can go up for a long time before the market actually catches up and makes the correct correlated move. This is just telling you insiders are selling. They can sell for a long time. All righty. Oh, wait, we talked about volatility for a second. XLU, so important here. Starting to try to curl back up, very important as well. Look at that. It wasn't able to go negative, right? Or went negative briefly, but it wasn't able to take out the previous low. So now you're piling up. Maybe that heads higher. We could squeeze even more. That's why we just want to be careful. Still looks like we could see like even Apple going crazy. So they're gonna do a short squeeze, it looks like. It looks like now they're gonna do a short squeeze. Uh, I'm just telling you. I'm gonna watch this stuff like a hawk. I'll come back at the end of the day if I can. But yeah, this is some funky behavior again. This is crazy. So now I'm gonna have to be risk managed with the 15-minute here, most likely on the volatility. That's perfectly fine. All right, guys, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. I got to go hang out with baby girl for a second, work a little bit on the side, but I really do appreciate it. I do. I hope that you guys have all the luck in the world. Make sure you're managing that risk, okay? Managing the risk is the most important thing in this environment. If you need to learn how to manage your risk, just check out the course link in the description. It is $100 for June. So grab that right now, learn a little bit more. If you've been watching my videos for a long time and you're really, you think you've put it together, yeah, then maybe you have put a lot of it together. The course can just make it more clear, just be very concise and be like, this is what you look for. That's what I have to do. All right, guys, I'm going to just leave it on for 20 minutes. When I come back to turn it off, if something interesting is happening, I'll mention something, but I really do have to hop off for a little bit here. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, all the donations. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been awesome. So I'll leave it on for 20 minutes on, let's leave it on the SPY. I think that's actually the most important still is the SPY. And look at that, squeezing higher and higher. Okay, we can go all the way up to the weekly expected move. This is the area to pay attention. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. In 20 minutes, if I come back and something crazy's happened, I'll start talking a little bit again. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.